with me while I show you what I'm eating today as a white transmasculine, femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronic Leo, culturally Jewish, Unitarian, Universalist, non-monogamous, STEM Leo, romantic, gray, demi-bisexual, a survivor of acute complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery.
It's a trap!
Hold on, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on, Chad.
I will read you to filth. To save the future.
Why? But why was I small on the screen? I don't know. Greetings, everyone. It's Sunday. We're still going to make collecting great again. We're always going to keep it that. Part of making collecting great again is understanding the history of these lines that we love, the intellectual properties, the why of things. Today, we're going to talk about Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles from Out of the Past to Save the Future. There were a couple of comments that I don't know if I'm really going to get into this per se, but yeah, there is a very distinct correlation between Sergeant Savage and Captain Steve Rogers. Okay, elephant in the room. We're just going to leave it alone. It is what it is. But there's some cool shit that comes from that. Just saying, not saying. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. Kyle Funk renewed his channel membership as a Chad hole, and for Mr. Funk and all the rest of you fantastic channel members,
Wolverines!
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Class is in session with Professor Chad Hole. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. I think a lot of things that we have to really break down is, one, people think that Sergeant Savage was like rebooting a Real American Hero or replacing a Real American Hero. It was none of that. It was a companion line to a Real American Hero. When Sergeant Savage comes out of the past to save the future, he's part of G.I. Joe. So that's a common misconception. Something else that we're really going to dive into is how much of the stuff in the Sergeant Savage line came from the canceled Real American Hero 1995 Battle Corps Rangers lineup. Spoiler alert, a good deal. So we'll get into that. Plus, toward the end of the stream, we're going to do a good old-fashioned giveaway. One giveaway. We're going to do one giveaway. And it's not based on how many likes the fucking stream gets. It's not based on how many people show up in the stream. I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, we're just going to do one. Randomly. Yeah. Let's take a look at the chat real quick. Like, Plastic Archaeologist, what's up? Good morning, Temple of 1/18th scale crack ship. Yeah, here. Like, it just doesn't want to play. May the Lord scale keep you and hold you. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, we're doing the same thing again where I click on a clip or whatever and it says failed to execute. Womp womp. It be what it be. Mother Slug says, it saddens me to think of all the people I grew up watching and listening to are all passing away. Yeah. Yeah, Donald Gibb is gone. The actor who played Moff Gergerard in Return of the Jedi, he just passed away too. Yeah, they're all going. You know what? For old Donald Gibb, ogre, and he was also in Bloodsport. Nerd! Nerd! Yeah, we'll give that up for ogre. Father Son Galaxy says, let's get savage. Yeah, we're about to. We're going to get into that. Packers, what's up? Good to see you. Crystal Clear, also good to see you as well. Wolverines, hell yeah, you guys know what's up. Everybody knows. Red Dawn Wolverines are suckers. What? Huh? What? Who the fuck said? Yeah. Ugh.
I ain't got time to be.
No.
I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime in. It's gone.
How? The Wolverines are the shit. They're freaking awesome. Nate Wolf DX, what is up? All hail the Lord scale. Amen. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Mother Slug, is Sergeant Savage the same person of the 30s comic book Captain Savage or different person? Are you thinking of Doc Savage? I think you're thinking of Doc Savage. Real muscular, like shaved blonde head with a widow's peak. I think you're thinking about Doc Savage. Tips? Got any tips? Yeah. Just Jeffy, channel member for 25 whole awesome months. One of my most reliable moderators. Uses his chat trademark this space 2024 and says, remember to join the membership so you can catch exclusive content before it's out. Ooh, members only chats, general wackiness. I was not paid to say this. No, you were not. No, you were not. But yeah, that's a good public service announcement. Thank you very much, Jeffy. And a lot of times I put polls up just to channel members. A couple of days ago, do we want to talk about brand loyalty or Sergeant Savage this Sunday? And Sergeant Savage won by like 80%. It was a freaking landslide. So if you don't like this week's topic, become a channel member and fucking change it. I don't know what to tell you. Sergeant Macho Man Randy Savage is my favorite. Oh, right. Why are half of you retarded today? I want to know. Like, honestly, why are half of you retarded?
Chad, and
it still keeps failing to play.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Like, I got to hit everything twice. You look like a Jackson. Marco, what's that quote from? Yeah, the Savage plane is the P-40 Warhawk. Yeah, we're gonna get into the toys. This is the first stream in a while, and I was telling the channel members this before in the pregame. It's the first stream in a while where I went and actually pulled a bunch of boxes of toys and freaking carded toys, pulled a bunch of toys out just to talk about plastic dollies and shelfies, and I'm freaking excited about it. Marco says, so lucky to catch a live. Of course, I missed the blessing that all of you got. Man, I'm the loser my mom said I'd be. You know, look, you're not a loser. Look, I'll give you another. Just for you, Marco. Just for you, my man. Yeah. Ever since Ozzy left, it's hit home more. Yeah. I mean, but Ozzy was old, man. He was old as shit. You know, I mean, Donald Gibb wasn't that old. I mean, he was older, but he wasn't like old. Yeah. Steven says, at least this line didn't have jaundice. No, there's no jaundice, Mr. Clean, in this line at all. Toy Odyssey, what's up? What's happening? Good to see you. Mother Slug says, stop running that out-of-date DOS program. She shut the hell up, man. Nothing wrong with my Netscape Navigator. Fucking Windows 95. Yeah. Tom, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Jay Carter says Donald Gibb was in Hancock. I don't remember him in Hancock. I guess I'll have to go back and rewatch that. Yeah, Ray Jackson from Bloodsport with the bandana. Doc Savage does not equal Sergeant Savage. No, absolutely not. No. I think that's who he was referring to. Paul Morales, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, my dude. Dan R. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for being here. I'm getting down through the chat, and we're gonna get in the meat and potatoes. We'll be in the chat for 45 minutes. My Chad membership is the best money I've spent in years. Dude, I appreciate that very much. I struggled for a long time before I even made channel memberships. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what could I do that makes it worthwhile to people? You know, because so many YouTube channels have channel memberships, but I wanted it to be like worth something. So, yeah, you know how it is. Oh, when I hit play, it's playing for you guys? Okay. So it might just be something on this end of StreamYard where it's not showing it on my screen. Good to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Crystal Clear says, I want that P-40 Warhawk. I'm a sucker for World War II aviation. I have two. I may have two of them. Yeah. They're not hard to find. They're just not super cheap. It's interesting with Sergeant Savage. Some stuff is really inexpensive. Don't want to say cheap, right? Some stuff you can find easily at a good price. Other stuff, no. And that's pretty much 4 items. The P-40 Warhawk, the Iron Panther tank, the 12-inch or 1/6 scale 30th anniversary figure that they did with all the Hall of Fame Joes, and a very not well-known version 6 Sergeant Savage in desert camouflage circa Gulf War. And that was a Collectors Club mail-away exclusive. The only 2 items from Savage that I don't have are the 12-inch and that Collector Club mail-away. Those are the only 2 I don't have. Everything else, I got it all. Now, I didn't pull everything out. I pulled out a lot of it, but not all of it. Some of that stuff's just buried in the Joe room. So, and we're kind of going to talk about G.I. Joe Extreme a little bit today. So, but we're not going to talk about you know, all the people who ruin our hobbies today. We're not going to discuss that. So, yeah. CC Murphy says, I had that P-40 in my 1/18 scale collection, was one of my favorites. Oh, I fucking love it. The Titan says, only half retarded. It's still early. Wait for everyone else to get in the stream, and we'll be at our normal 95% retarded. 95%?
It's science, people! Science!
60% of the time, we're retarded every time. I love it. Yeah, that souped up P40 is awesome. It's freaking awesome. Ken the Band says, I'm new here. Is this about classified? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get all the classified content. Shut the fuck up. Lio Convoy, what is up, my friend? It's good to see you. Lio Convoy says, Dolly time. It is Dolly time. I'm appreciating using my lapel mic now. Something I wanted to do for a hot minute, because now I can roll around and move to the back of the room. I can't stand up. Just kidding. I do have something on from the waist down. I'm not fucking weird like that. Plastic Archaeologist, the Savage line is freaking awesome. I loved it. It continued on for a few years at least. Well, we're going to get into that. Zombie Finger can't be doxxed. No, it cannot. Oh, snap. I'm all retarded. That's why I was a Marine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Feeling it. Den of Geek, channel member for 24 months. 2 whole years with the Council of Jeffs. 2 years of managed democracy and loving stuff. I feel you, dude. I have my managed democracy fucking flag hanging right. It's kind of like here, not back. Yeah, it's over there. You know, it's over there. Mother Slug says, oh, we're going to talk and show dollies? This is going to be historical. But I used to do it all the time. We're just getting back to form. I mean, I'm still wearing my hat that's going to piss everybody off. But I mean, that's what I'm here for. Ozzy, then Ace Frehley, then Hulk Hogan last year really hurt. Well, they always go in threes, right? Ozzy was young in Ozzy years. Get the fuck out. Yeah, okay, so Donald Gibb was 71. I don't want to say that's pretty old, but that's about when males are expected to go, right? Average life expectancy of a male is 72 years. Hey, he lived a good life, you know? Lived a good life. Donald Gibb used to run a bar in Chicago that featured all midget staff, including shot girls. Ugh, fuck, I wouldn't go in there. No, midgets fucking creep me out, man. 100% creep me out. Anybody with dwarfism, like you don't have to be like, you know, with the weird limbs, but it's just me. They just creep me out. Nothing against them. Yeah. Jay Carter, bringing it back to what we talked about at the very fucking beginning. Sergeant Savage is Captain America with the serial numbers filed. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was U.S. agent. Anyway, Steven says, I did buy a Savage figure off the rack back when they came out. Wasn't the same. Loved my Real American Hero too much. Didn't feel the same. That is kind of the obvious. Now, it was a creative decision. But the fact that Sergeant Savage was a larger version of G.I. Joe, same construction, same articulation, all that stuff. Here, I can actually take version 3, Sergeant Savage, out of the P40. I mean, it's the exact same figure, right? It's just larger. Yeah. Well, he has no O-ring. He has the waist cut, but yeah, they were bigger, a little different, but yeah, to upscale them, I think a lot of people didn't know how to kind of handle that, how to deal with it. So it is what it is. Kirk Bazigian and I have talked at length previously. Now I'm trying to put him back in the fucking aircraft. Have talked at length about Sergeant Savage and all that stuff. And it was just a decision that he and Joe Kubert kind of made. It is what it is, you know. What are you going to do at the end of the day? All right, get back into your aircraft. Put this over here for right now. We'll get We'll get back to that later. But there's a lot of cool history to Savage that I think a lot of people just kind of either they don't know or they gloss over. Giraffe, dear Chad, please update from Windows 95 to Windows 11. You're making it hard for us to track and build up your profile to sell, says Microsoft. Hi, Odie. What are you doing? She won't stand up here. She knows when I'm on camera. She's a fucking smart dog. John Garrett, what do you think about them bringing back the old Pizza Hut restaurants? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that the story about that entrepreneur bringing back the old school, red roof, dine-in, red cup, tabletop arcade Pizza Hut. Like that's come up again. I'm waiting for it. Mo, what's up? Speaking of the Council of Jeff, says listening while driving. Good to see you, dude. The Hidden. Yo, Chad, what is the relationship between Sergeant Savage and Lieutenant Garrison Krieger? Lieutenant Garrison Krieger. Sounds very familiar. Not getting there. I don't know. Throwing me for a loop. Action Joe Figs, what's up, man? Good to see you. Dreadnought says, I'm here, not queer. That's fine. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not queer? You sure? You might be a little bit. World Made of Cardboard. Good to see you, my dude. Some of the G.I. Joe Extreme vehicles were pretty good. I have all of the Extreme vehicles. The vehicles are kind of fucking fun. We're only going to touch briefly on G.I. Joe Extreme. And there's a reason why. A lot of people might know, because I've talked about it numerous times before, but some people might not. Cool toys and cool things. What's up? I wish Hasbro or another company would make a 5-ton or a deuce and a half. Every military needs cargo vehicles. Yeah. I mean, G.I. Joe gave us the APC, right? Like that's pretty much all you're getting out of that. But I agree. Yeah. 5-ton or a deuce and a half, which is a 2.5 ton. Yeah. For those of you who don't know. Nate Wolf, what's up? Chad, what games are you playing now? I'm playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem and Splinter Cell Blacklist. I am playing Helldivers 2. That's pretty much what I'm playing. I played Ghost Recon Wildlands for it. 9 years. 9 years. That was like my main. I always have like a main game. Now my main is Helldivers 2. But yeah, I mean, I'll still, dust off an Arkham game or something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty much on Helldivers 2 and the Metal Gear collections. Yeah, I like going back playing the old NES top-down shit. Jay Carter with the Anchorman quote. Still wonder how she knew enough to make that comparison. Yeah, that was a random kind of comment. Plastic Archaeologist, the Iron Panther tank is great. Wasn't Mega Marines. What do you mean wasn't Mega Marines? Was it supposed to be Mega Marines? No, it wasn't supposed to be Mega Marines. We'll get into that. Dreadnought says, I only ever see Chad play Helldivers 2. There you go. I did play through all the Arkham games on live streams, except for Night. Yeah, I didn't get into Night. So, I don't really like Arkham Knight. The story is just shit. It's shit. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, shit. Chad has a PS5 too? Damn. No, I do not have a PS5. I have every Nintendo system. I have PlayStation up through PS3. In fact, my PS3 is right down here. I did say every Nintendo system, right? Because my Switch 2 is right under there. And every Xbox system. My Series X sits right here. I have an Xbox One in my living room. Yeah. Yeah, I stopped with PlayStation at PS3. But yeah, every other system I've got. I even have the old black brick fucking original Xbox. My 360 is still freaking rocking. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna move away from talking about gaming, but I don't. Maybe we'll just do a bullshitting stream one of these days. I don't know. I'll put up a poll and see if people want to do like a AMA or a just chew the fat kind of a thing. But yeah. Steven says, so Sergeant Savage were like the Power of the Force 2 of G.I. Joe. You're talking about larger and burlier. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I don't know. Mother Slug, I love that you have the American flag in screen. Lots of respect for you, as I don't know anything else that has that. This, thank you. I appreciate it. That's actually my retirement flag. That's the flag that I was presented when I retired. I decided to hang it in here. I don't need to put it in a shadow box. We already have enough flags and shadow boxes. Venom, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, no more divorced dad Pizza Huts. Look, the world needs to heal in many different ways. We need to get away from this midlife crisis McDonald's where you go in there and you just feel like shit. Like, because those of us remember like Hamburglar and the Fry Guys and Mayor McCheese and all of that shit. Like, McDonald's is fucking depressing now. Taco Bell is depressing now. Pizza Hut, like, bring back the Red Roof fucking restaurants. Yeah, we need to heal the world. Council of Jeffs represent. Oh, all the Jeffs are here now. What the frig? Oh, Action Joe Figs. I own the 12-inch Sergeant Savage and Sergeant Rock. Freaking awesome. Speaking of which, yeah, so Sergeant Savage came about. I'm just going to use this as a segue. Savage was like a love letter brainchild between Kirk Bazigian, when he was the vice president of Boys Toys at Hasbro in the 90s. He very much had the approach of attack on all fronts. That's why you saw the Mega Marines. That's why you saw the Eco Warriors. That's why you saw Star Brigade. They were holding off things like Captain Planet. Dino Hunters held off Jurassic Park. Star Brigade held off Star Wars, which it did until Hasbro acquired Kenner Tonka. And that's important for a reason, because with the Kenner Tonka acquisition, or Tonka Kenner, whatever you want to call it, they got everything. They got Nerf. They even got Kellogg. And one of the vice presidents that came over from Kellogg was a woman named Ginger Kent. Now, we're not going to focus too much on Ginger Kent right now, but she knew nothing about toys, nothing at all. This is where the slow slide with Hasbro taking on these executives that they just sort of scooped up in acquisitions, making long-lasting changes to the ideas that were around at Hasbro proper. You're going to see a lot of that. So Kenner, and specifically the executive Ginger Kent, who was a vice president in one of the acquisitions, they're going to be important when we talk about some of the stuff at the end of this stream. But Sergeant Savage was brought about as a way to attack Sergeant Rock, because back then the word was Arnold Schwarzenegger was interested in starring in a Sergeant Rock movie. And as soon as that came out in the trades, Kirk Bazigian was always he was already really good friends with Joe Kubert. Joe Kubert was an artist with Sergeant Rock. So he got Kubert to help him flesh out a line for G.I. Joe. That's a companion line. It wasn't a reset. It wasn't a competition with a real American hero. It was wholly a companion line. They made the executive decision to make the figures a little larger. They're like 4.5 inches. I don't know why. It freaking is what it is, which is a weird decision once we get further down the rabbit hole of what Sergeant Savage acquired from the canceled Battle Corps Rangers sub-team from 1995. All of this stuff ties in together. I really enjoy when we do these streams, and when I say we, I mean me and all of you, when we do these streams, it's all threads. We have to tie it all together, because the why of things is just important as, all your shelfies and your dollies and things like that. It's not just the toy. It's everything that comes along with it. But that's where Sergeant Savage came from. Direct competition with a supposed, alleged Sergeant Rock movie that never happened. Crystal Clear says, correct me if I'm incorrect. Wasn't the full title Sergeant Savage and His Screaming Eagles? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely is. Right there. See it? Sergeant Savage and His Screaming Eagles. This was $4.99 back in the day. Still has the original. I want to say that's a Kmart sticker. Not sure. Yeah, it was Screaming Eagles. And wouldn't that imply 101st? I was wearing my 101st shirt yesterday when we were doing the Energon stream. And I don't know why I wore my, yeah. Task Force Easy was the shirt that I was wearing yesterday, because on my last deployment in 2019, 2020, one of the sister battalions that was with us was the 101st, and we had the no shit Easy Company Rakasans with us. Yeah. So did a couple of missions with them, and I wound up with one of their unit shirts. And so every once in a while I wear it with pride. Cooter's Garage. What's up, Cooter? I'm here. And sure, I drank water and took.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
See, it might be playing for you guys, but all I see is a black screen. I don't know. No idea. Yeah. But apparently you guys said it plays. Justin Booth, I'm back. Good to see you. Dreadnought K6 is only gay for Chad. I mean, that's cool. I'm only gay for pay. Classic Archaeologist says, G.I. Joe Extreme might trigger me. No. I'm going to leave all the Pizza Hut talk. Trying to stay on target. Stay on target. Late Real American Hero and then Extreme was Hasbro chasing trends instead of leading them. I don't know about chasing trends. I think they were just trying to hold everything off. Remember, 1993 was the second most successful, most profitable year of G.I. Joe in all of its history, from 64 to now. 86, then 93. In 93, you had Mega Marines with the Play-Doh armor because they acquired Play-Doh, right? You had the vehicles with the Nerf launchers, right? The Cobra detonator and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I don't know. I would argue that. I think the 90s had a lot of cool shit that people just kind of brush off. Just my opinion. KOTOR remake incoming. They've been saying that for years. I don't even know if that's going to happen. Metal Gear Solid does rule. Yeah. Look, when it comes to MGS, I only really like the first one. They start getting all convoluted, and fucking Revolver Ocelot has Liquid's arm, and I don't know. The first one I will play a million times. So Mother Slug says, I would like to see a Hemet be made. They actually had a design for a Hemet style vehicle called the Goliath, and it was like a vehicle playset. One of the awesome unproduced Joe vehicle playsets. The Hidden says, on Wikipedia, Garrison was described as a traitor, and he was the reason why Savage got frozen in time. I'm going to have to... okay. We're going to get into the animated series, a.k.a. the pilot and all that stuff. He's probably in that. Why was an American soldier, Sergeant Savage, placed on the UK Action Man team during the 90s? Beats the shit out of me, dude. Dreadnought says, I know about the other games, but lately it's only been Helldivers 2. Yeah, okay. 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, Steel Dog is here. you get a fucking cookie. But again, pause for the cause. We are going to do a giveaway toward the end of the stream. I got a lot of duplicates. I need to start getting rid of stuff. What better way to do it than on giveaways? But giveaways are going to be unannounced, right? I'm not trying to fucking attention farm or subscriber farm or any of that dumb shit. You know what I'm talking about. Billy D, what's happening? Good to see you. I didn't know Savage is an O-ring. No. That not all of them, but yeah, most of them, they have the plug-in waist articulation. But the video said old soldiers never die. That's true. That's what it says. Old soldiers never die. Zombie Finger, every game system, what is it like being God's favorite? I mean, you know, when you're Generation X and you've been playing home video games since the Atari 2600, isn't that just the way it goes? Oh, Michael says, that's quite the beard you got there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's I mean, it's still coming in, but it's getting there. It's good. I chew on my mustache a lot. I don't know. Steel Dog says Sergeant Savage and the Screaming Eagles was a great subgroup. Yeah, and that's exactly what they were. They were a sub team, 100%. I missed the Dine-In Pizza Huts. We're not going to get into that. CC Murphy, Ginger Kent is the most adult film star name ever. Yeah. I don't really talk about Robo Joe. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do Robo Joe. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat here. Marcos says, great group here. Absolutely, man. We just try to keep it real and have fun and not take shit from anybody around these fucking parts. You know.
Wolverines!
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, dude. Nate, when do you play that game, Chad? Helldivers? Look, I need to get better at scheduling game streams. Usually it's just Jeffy and I are going to game, or me, Jeff, Matt, Jesse from JLS Comics, you know, anybody who wants to jump in as a fourth or whatever. And we just kind of go. Just kind of like impromptu, boop, game stream. I could get better about scheduling them. But look, work-life balance. Everything needs to be work-life balance. And my family is important to me. The ma'am is important to me due to the nature of what the ma'am does. When she's around at home, I like to spend time with her. So, yeah. Marco says, Chad obviously sets the tone, but I like to think I can help from the bleachers. All of you. I don't set the tone. Look, the reality of any live stream from anybody on YouTube, it's the chat. The chat is king, right? The chat rules all. Chat should always be respected, always be acknowledged. I never believe in only reading member and super chats and things like that. It's always about the chat, because if it weren't for all of you being here, I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be playing video games or fucking around with my displays or something like that. Like, I'm here with all of you. So you guys are what makes this shit cool, not me. I just know some nerdy shit. Steel Dog says, oh, I viewed Sergeant Savage as a completely new direction. No, absolutely not. 100% not. And that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna get into this. Is the Screaming Eagles the bridge between G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Extreme? No, it's not. We'll get to that. 100%. I promise. By the end of this, everybody's going to have a warm fuzzy. I promise. We're going to crawl, walk, run this shit. Steel Dog says, G.I. Joe Extreme is not real. G.I. Joe Extreme never happened. You see, this is the cool thing about my lapel mic. So this never happened. Oh, this was a gift from Laser Pants, by the way. even though I already had one. But it's all sun faded and fucked up. But oh, it happened. It's a fucking fever dream, just like, you know, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi happened, but we all like to think they didn't happen. Yeah. Yeah, it played for us just fine, which is interesting that it, okay, so the Nightmare Fuel played, but I don't even see when it ends. It just stays black screen. That's only a 7-second clip, but it stayed black until I clicked off of it, whatever. I wish I had a black screen when that played. Oh, I wonder if this one's going to play. Did the Bush Wookie play? Because mine just says your browser failed to play it. Whatever. I mean, I'm using Chrome. Who cares? We're just going to let that go. Nate, Chad, I have a question for you. In the military, what is the highest rank, staff sergeant or specialist? I'm trying to figure out the Action Force command structure. The higher rank of those two is staff sergeant for sure. Enlisted ranks, they go private, PV2. So private E1, we call them E fuzzy. They wear no rank. And this is Army ranks. Army, right? Because I am an Army veteran. PV1, private E1. PV2, private E2 with just the mosquito wings, one chevron. Then there's PFC, private first class. That's a chevron and a rocker. Then there's specialist, right? Which is what we call chicken on a platter. It's that shield or the upside down PFC, fully black with an eagle in the center. The other E4 rank is corporal. You can be a specialist if you're not in a leadership position. If you are in a leadership position, you're a corporal, which is the most junior non-commissioned officer, but you're still a non-commissioned officer. Then there's sergeant E5, which is, we call them buck sergeants, right? Because you're just a sergeant, E5, 3 chevrons. Then there's staff sergeant, E6, 3 up, 1 down. I'm sure you can see right here. That's my E7. My E8 is actually above it. I was promoted when I retired. Then there's sergeant first class, which is this rank, 3 up, 2 down. Once you reach E7 or sergeant first class, that's a congressional appointment. It takes an act of Congress to demote you. So that's when you've got that weight on your chest where you can kind of, you know, if they're not in your food chain, you could tell like a major or a lieutenant colonel to politely fuck off. Because at this rank, you're the highest enlisted person at the platoon level or at like the readiness level. So you need to have a little weight. Then there's E8, which is what I was promoted to, highest above there on the shadow box. And E8 is either master sergeant, which is 3 up, 3 down, or if you're in a highest company leadership position, you're a first sergeant. That right? Duke from G.I. Joe was the first sergeant, which is 3 up, 3 down, and a diamond in the center. That's the highest company level position that any non-commissioned officer can hold. And then you go to sergeant major. And there's sergeant major, and then there's command sergeant major. A command sergeant major means you're in a command position. You're generally, it's you as the CSM, the command sergeant major, and then whatever, the battalion commander, the brigade commander. Sergeant major, you go battalion command sergeant major, brigade level sergeant major, regimental sergeant major, all the way up to sergeant major of the Army. Yeah, so E9 sergeant major is the highest enlisted rank there is. Sorry, we got off topic there. Chad, watch out for roaming bush Wookiees on your drive to DFW. Oh, I avoid them. Yeah, I'm very good at avoiding the roaming bush Wookiees out on the open road. Slate on Slate says, shit, late again. I mean, that's cool. If that's just your deal, if that's your thing. Plastic Archaeologist. I had the original NES version of Metal Gear as a kid. Yeah, it wasn't Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid didn't come out till PlayStation. No. But yeah, that's just Metal Gear. Bobby Vance from Lone Wolf Toys. What's up, my dude? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have action figure royalty here. It's good to see you, my man. Mother Slug asks, so Sergeant Savage is like Bionic 6, only not metal figures? Are you talking about construction or what? Alien and Wolverines. Okay, we're getting there. Let's go. Yes, Sudahuba. Chat reigns supreme, always. Chat's most important. Not the person in the chair. It's all about the chat. Chadwick. My name is not fucking Chadwick. Is an incredible individual. Yes, many of you don't. His voice. I listen in ICU coma, and he helped to start battle out of it. Really? Is that what I'm picking up? You were listening to me while you were in the ICU? Real Cold G, what's up, dude? I always appreciate your extensive G.I. Joe knowledge. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Absolutely. Yeah, I really, really do. Michael Zimmerman, G.I. Joe Extreme drove me away from Joe for a long time. I am still working on, and now I got a lot more free time, but I'm still working on a video about the death of a real American hero and Sergeant Savage. And that follows the Black Tuesday in 1994. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that right now, but that's when everyone at the Joe team lost their jobs. Everything about what was the health of G.I. Joe as an intellectual property in 1994, like breaking that down Barney style, talking about why Real American Hero and Sergeant Savage, because again, it was a companion line. If you get rid of one, you got to get rid of both. Why they were killed, who killed them, what were the machinations as to their, motivations, which brought about G.I. Joe Extreme, and then the death of G.I. Joe Extreme, and then we see what this is right here. I know this, okay, well, I'll point up here. This is the Real American Hero collection. That's what they started calling G.I. Joe when it returned back to Hasbro, back to 3 3/4 inches in late 1997. So we really come all the way around full circle, and then they just start putting out the fucking A10 Rattler again, the Rattler based on the A10. However, when Real American Hero Collection put it out, they called it the A10 Rattler. Yeah. East Coast Cody, just seeing that G.I. Joe Extreme box whiplashed me back to being in the KB Toys. Yep. 100%. Raymond Sheffield said, that's why I personally really appreciate you. I appreciate you. You include everyone. Fuck yeah, I do. Those HCC types were elitists. Hooded Cobra Commander? Fuck that guy. Anyway, I'm already on. I've been on record numerous times about O'Brien Lauer, Hooded Cobra Commander. Sigma 6 was almost real. I'll tell you what, the mission scale, the mask size mission scale Sigma 6 stuff was pretty friggin' cool, man. Pretty cool. Last three are Staff Sergeant. Yeah, E6 is Staff Sergeant. That's the squad level leadership. And then everything else above that is Sergeant First Class, Master Sergeant, First Sergeant, Sergeant Major. God damn it, Chad! Why are you taking the Lord's name in vain at me? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. The Wookiee worked. Robert's Infinite Rail says rank education is fun. My dad was a staff sergeant in the Air Force. Air Force staff sergeant is an E5. Yeah. Real Cold G. Did Flint outrank Duke? Yes and no. Warrant officers what we call walks or chiefs. They are like their own parallel sort of rank system. Warrant officers are officers, yes, but they are never at the company level. So like the people who actually do work in the Army, warrant officers are never in there. A battalion, a whole battalion, which is like 6 companies. So we'll say in an infantry battalion, you have 3 light infantry companies. Those are your Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie companies. Then you have a heavy weapons company, which is I was a heavy weapons master gunner. That is your, that is your Delta company, right? Your weapons company is always your Delta company. Then you have what's called an FSC, which is like your forward support company. They provide your fuel, your ASP or your ammunition supply points, your chow, all that stuff. And what people don't realize is a company first sergeant's job, bullets, beans, band-aids. The first sergeant is the one who coordinates with your FSC company to get you your chow, like your en route resupplies and things like that. They bring the fuelers to wherever you are. If you're in a weapons company like mine, where everything is like up armored vehicles, you know, your MATVs, your Humvees, things like that. And then you have what's called an HHC, or a headquarters and headquarters company. I don't know why it's called headquarters company, but that's what they are. So then you have your HHC. All of your battalion leadership belongs to your HHC. So like your battalion commander, your battalion command sergeant major, your battalion chaplains, all of like your S shops. So like S1, 2, 3, 6. All your shops are in the battalion. They're all part of HHC. The medics are all part of HHC. They attach the combat medics to the infantry units and so on and so forth. But you always have 4 combat companies in an infantry battalion. Then you have your support company, and then you have your headquarters and headquarters company. So your headquarters element is your battalion commander, battalion XO, battalion command sergeant major, the chaplain, all those fucking dorks. And then the headquarters company is like your shops, your medics, things like that. That's a battalion. But you will generally only have one warrant officer somewhere assigned in your battalion. And they're the ones that do like your quarterly inspections and make sure that all your weapons get gauged and dumb shit like that. They're like unicorns. They stand around with their hands in their pockets. They don't do shit. I have never once in almost 23 years of military service did I ever salute a warrant officer. I would just be like, "What's up, Chief?" That's it. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Laserpants himself is here. What's up, Ryan? It's good to see you, buddy. I'm a command sergeant rear admiral. You're a rear command something, dude. I don't fucking know. Yeah. Command sergeant major is all political BS. Yeah. All those, anything at the battalion level and higher, it's always fucking, it's all politics. It's all get off my grass. Holy fuck, Chad never realized how high rank Chad. I was a master sergeant, E8. Yeah. Now I was operational at the E7, sergeant first class level, and then I went to readiness, which is like an office job. Then I retired. Then upon retiring, I was promoted because I was on the promotion list when I retired. So, oh, can you guys see Odie? See her? See her right there? Murder dog. Yeah. So I was when I was handed all my retirement stuff, I was awarded a promotion. Yeah. Let's talk about Sergeant Savage. Mojo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Flint would have outranked Duke, but since he was a warrant officer, nobody could find him. Exactly. And nobody gave a shit. But that's the thing to understand about Joe is that, I mean, it's fiction, right? It's fictional. You're not going to have an E4 flying a fucking, $18 million aircraft. That doesn't happen. So rank means nothing in Joe, except for like Hawk, Duke, Flint, beachhead, right? Like they say, first comes Hawk, then Duke, then me, and then you. Yeah, well, maybe someday that'll change. So, yeah. They have a leadership structure. They don't really have a rank structure, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's where did the politics start? E9, Sergeant Major. Yep, 100%. Deke 3 Sex Lions. It's actually Deke 3. It was something Sex Lion, but it was more Die Hard 3. Anyway, Plastic Archaeologist says Death of a Real American Hero. Death of a Real American Hero. Thank you. Was so hard on me as a teenager. It made me get so depressed because since '82, I thought it'd be around forever. I mean, it was around for 12 years. That's a long time for one line. We don't even talk about intellectual property, just line. Jesse says, oh, cool. I was like number 50. Of what? Of what? Sam Newsman's here, ladies and gentlemen, the most trusted puppet in media since Roswell. Good to see you, Sam. Thanks for being here. Who did you outrank in G.I. Joe? Most of them, except for Beachhead. Well, Colonel Courage. I mean, like, how far down the Captain Gridiron? How far down the rabbit hole do you want to get? Chet Maddox, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Shadow Nose Network. Good to see you, Chet. Dude, I had a freaking blast yesterday. 100% blast. Oh, yeah, don't forget your scouts. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the scouts and the scout snipers. Yeah, the snoop and poop. Thank you. 100%. Yep. Scouts. That was an ass blasting joke, FYI. No, I got you. I caught it. 100% caught it. No flag points. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Chad Holes Unite.
It's science, people! Science!
No, 100% not. No. I was the guy whose desk you did not want to be standing on the other side of. Trust me. Robert's Infinite Realms. Oh, you're talking to Ryan. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. I forgot Sergeant Slaughter, buddy. How did I forget Sergeant Slaughter? He wasn't in that leadership structure of G.I. Joe. He was the trainer. He was off over here. He was parallel. Yeah. 100%. Arise Serpentor Arise, episode 1, which is the very first episode of season 2 of the Sunbow series, clearly states that the leadership structure of G.I. Joe is Hawk, Duke, Flint, Beachhead. Slaughter is over here on his own kind of branch because he is their trainer. He kind of whips them into shape, right? And he leads the Renegades, later the Marauders. But yeah. Darth Gutierrez, what is up, my dude? Says Mexicans for Trump. You probably just fucking read like 20 people. Chad was salvo people. If you never knew, you can thank him personally. Was I salvo? What does my neck tattoo say? It says fucking vengeance, man. Old school. Yeah. Old Testament God shit and Batman, right? I am vengeance, I am the night. Yeah. So it's kind of a double entendre there. Yeah. Old Testament and Batman the Animated Series. Kirby, what's up, man? Good to see you. Poor Stalker, always forgotten about in Sunbow. Yeah, Vargo, right? Stalker was Colonel Hawk's number 2. He was like the field commander in Joe. Absolutely. First Lieutenant Steeler, but he popped smoke and stayed with the alternate dimension Baroness. He did kind of friggin' die later, too. I think a lot of people just kind of miss that, but yeah, he did. Darth Gutierrez, thank you very much, man. There was a later episode titled "The Most Dangerous Thing in the World" where Slaughter was, officially added. True, but right, there's the Sunbow continuity, then there's also the Marvel Comics continuity, and on and on and on. But again, it's fictional. Yeah, absolutely. But either way, K-Mac, what's up, dude? Stuart Jardine, good to see you. Okay, now we're going to get into it. An hour fucking later. It is what it is. But again, the chat rules all. I would rather talk with you guys for 5 hours. So, yeah, Nate, anytime, man. Just fucking hit it up. Okay, Sergeant Savage. We already talked about how it was a parallel line, right? It's a companion line to A Real American Hero. A lot of people get the misconception that Sergeant Savage came out in 1995. That is inaccurate. It came out in 1994, because by 1995, A Real American Hero and Sergeant Savage were dead. By all intents and purposes, Savage was killed off at the higher corporate echelons before this shit even hit shelves. It was already dead, which is why some of it is very hard to find. I have notes, right? Not everything flows freely from the brain housing group. Sergeant Savage consisted of, this is the entirety of the line, 18 figures, 4 vehicles, 2 mini playsets. Of those 18 figures, it's only 7 characters. It's this many. 7 characters. 10 figures were individually carded. Now, when I say individually carded, I'm talking like this. This kind of individually carded. Not this per se, because that's not individually carded. So we got to kind of bear that in mind as we move forward talking about it, because we can get a little bit into the weeds. Nate Wolf, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Everybody welcome Nate Wolf into the chat holes. This is for you, bro.
Wolverines!
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Fucking hell yeah! Yes, the packaging that I think a lot of people don't really appreciate with Sergeant Savage is, okay, look at the bullet holes. Like, the bullet holes are in the packaging. It still has the Real American Hero, right? That's still there. It is still part of A Real American Hero. Still has flag points from A Real American Hero. Still has file cards, the baseball style file cards that you saw in the later 90s stuff. This is A Real American Hero. It's just Joe Kubert's kind of love letter line with Kurt Bazigian, but it's A Real American Hero for all intents and purposes, no matter what. Again, even on the back, right? Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. There's nothing not A Real American Hero about that, down to the red, white, and blue racetrack. 10 individually carded figures. 1 figure with a pack-in VHS. And that VHS is, of course, Old Soldiers Never Die. I have slides. 1 figure with a pack-in motorcycle or a mini vehicle. 2 figures with pack-in mini play sets. Those are important, as is the motorcycle, right? All of this stuff, you're going to see how all these threads connect with the larger Real American Hero line. 2 figures included with vehicles, one of which you already saw with the P-40 Warhawk, which is Sergeant Savage version 3. Because, sure, again, we're going to give a $10 million freaking aircraft to a sergeant. 1 standalone vehicle, which is the SS-1 Grizzly. And by the way, for those of you who have been watching my intro for years, there's a shit ton of Sergeant Savage in my intro. So, 1 mail away collectors club figure and 1 1/6 scale or 12-inch figure as part of the 30th anniversary Hall of Fame line. I'm looking over at my Hall of Fame hooded Cobra Commander. That's your grand total of 18 figures, 4 vehicles, 2 mini playsets, period. That's how that all breaks down Barney style. All right, everybody's just kind of talking to each other. If I miss something, somebody at Chad me and Jeffy will star it or something. Sergeant Savage was what are you staring at? Sorry, Odie's just staring at me. Sergeant Savage was officially rolled out on July 14th, 1994. Again, this was not a 1995 line. July 14th, 1994 was the rollout date for Sergeant Savage. Real American Hero and Sergeant Savage were killed in August of 1994. Look at that time frame. Very, very small, right? So again, like I said, before most of this shit even hit shelves, it was already fucking dead. Again, it was established as a love letter by Kirk Bazigian and artist Joe Kubert. It took the O-ring construction from 3 3/4 to 4.5 inches, just their decision to do it. There's no real rhyme or reason. And it weaved together homages to both Sergeant Rock and Captain America. We discussed the elephant in the room of the Captain America, right? Soldier, out of time, frozen, blah, 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 from out of the past to save the future, which was the tagline of Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles. Now, it did incorporate a lot of the Real American Hero Joes, especially in this VHS, which was the pilot for an animated series that never took off. But Hawk's in there, Doc's in there, Cobra Commander, and several others are actually in this pilot animated series. Ace's Place, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Cobra Commander made a cameo. Yes, he sure did. But it's not just the cameo, right? There's other implications when we talk about the Iron Army. And the Iron Army, right, because Real American Hero and acronyms, right? It's International Robotics Operations Network. That's what IRON stood for, IRON, International Robotics Operations Network. So when you look at iron vehicles, you see that, right? It's an acronym like WHALE, right? Warrior, Hovering, Assault, Launching, Envoy, WHALE, right? So iron, that's what that stands for. The Iron Army, Iron Anvil, Iron Panther, et cetera, et cetera. So with Sergeant Savage, you have the Screaming Eagles, which is a Real American Hero, G.I. Joe sub-team, just like Slaughter's Marauders, just like Night Force, Star Brigade, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They were a sub-team. And then you have the Iron Army. I already explained the acronym. And because it was a companion to a Real American Hero, but it kind of goes back to World War II with Savage, his Screaming Eagles, General Blitz, who was the main bad guy in the Iron Army. There's implications that General Blitz had a hand in the creation of Cobra Command. It's not really expressly laid out, but there's a lot of implications throughout the stories. There are mini comics that came with some figures. Again, there's also the animated pilot from Sunbow that didn't take off. It didn't get picked up, but the VHS got packaged in with the #1 figure, or version 1 Sergeant Savage. So let's get into some photos, shall we? Iron Army was Hasbro's equivalent to Marvel's Hydra. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's kind of, yeah. Is that Sergeant Savage VHS streamed anywhere? Yeah, YouTube. 100%. It's on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Jeffy doing the Lord's work. General Blitz also hints in his argument with Cobra Commander. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just saying. There's implications that he had a hand in the creation of Cobra Commander. Some of these photos aren't the best. That being said, I do have to say thank you to the now, I don't want to say abandoned or defunct, or it's from yojo.com. They have a really great database on Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles. Link is in the description. Everything that I'm going to show, the link is in the description, because I'm not a fucking bitch like that. So this is the number one figure. In fact, you can see the one right up here. And this is Sergeant Savage version 1, Commando Sergeant Savage with the pack-in VHS. I don't know why I have a picture when I have the physical thing in my freaking hand, but sometimes I'm thorough to a fault. That's what the VHS looks like. But again, it's right here in my grubby fucking hands. So yeah, awesome figure. He comes with some really cool accessories. Not on the sprue trees like a lot of the cost-cutting later Real American Hero stuff. So it's not on the sprues. A lot of these figures have really awesome accessories. One has a freaking IV. So, yep, there's the VHS right there behind the figure. And then there's the back. Pretty straightforward. Really awesome figure. Again, he's got the bullet holes. They all have the bullet holes on it, but it retailed for $4.99, and this one is in fucking great shape. So I'll put him off to the side over here. Oh, Original Darkhawk, what's up, man? Good to see you. Lord of Brooklyn's here from Hasbro headquarters. Are you in Boston now with everybody else? Yeah. Steel Dog says, I still have the VHS. Unfortunately, that's all I have left. Do you have a VCR to play it? That's the question. B. Rivera says, I watched that VHS multiple times a day. Dude, I love it. It's freaking awesome. You can still find it, 100%. Yeah. Oh, Steel Dog doesn't have a VCR. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, so there's the VHS tape. Now, this is this figure right here. And this is version 2 Sergeant Savage. So again, remember, 18 figures. We'll just say 17. We'll keep the 12-inch figure kind of in his own little thing. But in the 4.5-inch scale, there were 17 figures, but only 7 characters. So you get like 6 versions of Savage, numerous versions of Blitz, 2 versions of D-Day, Dynamite, on and on and on and on. So, in fact, they never even made all of the characters from the animated pilot. So, yeah, this is a Combat Sergeant Savage version 2. Freaking awesome, right? Like he's got the bandage on his arm. He's got the NCO tattoo right there, like his rank on his bicep. Removable helmet. Obviously, the spring-loaded launcher, right? Because 90s Joe. But, pardon me, this is an awesome freaking figure. And, yeah, so there he is right there. I picked this guy up from Yo Toys here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Again, shout out to Jacob Real and Jerry. Awesome people. They love toys. They're really cool. And, yeah, there he is right there. Now, the back of this card has more going on than the V1 Savage with the VHS. So it actually shows other characters, again, with that Joe Kubert art, more comic panels. Hey, kids, this is how you load the spring-loaded launcher. P.S. Don't shoot it down your throat, right? And then you have your baseball-style file card, and then you have your flag points because, again, companion line to a Real American Hero, not a reset, restart, or a competition. But this is a really awesome fucking figure. I really wish he was 3 3/4 inches because they got some good sculpting on these figures. Maybe that's partially because they were 4.5 inches. You ever notice all those antique or collector stores? Everyone has VHS, but no players. Shouldn't they all be Combat Sergeant Savage? No, not really. Pepperidge Farms remembers when Hasbro put accessories in with the figures. I mean, for a while, even now with Classified, they do a vomitorium of reused accessories, and they're like, look, it's value. No, it's not value. It's just fucking 8 knives and 4 sidearms. Curb Stomp, my VCR is about 30 years old. Yeah. Yeah, well, when did they stop making VCRs? Like right after the turn of the century or something? I don't freaking know. Mine's from like late 90s. Yeah. Plastic Archaeologist says, I picked mine up for around $20, shipping around the same price. I bought them in lots of 3. Cool. Look at this. 2007, they stopped making VCRs. I fucking love you guys. You wouldn't say dial tone is combat. No, because dial tone is combat support, right? Again, since we were talking about military and, you know, the structure of what like a standard infantry battalion looks like, if you're not infantry, armor, or cavalry, it's not cavalry, it's cavalry, which are your scouts, etc., etc. If you're not one of those 3, you're not combat arms. Everything else is combat support. In fact, according to Unified Land Operations, even special operations are considered combat support. Right? They are parallel echelons. They are not part of your combat arms. Anywho, so yeah, that's version 2, Sergeant Savage or Combat Sergeant. I'm sorry you guys hear the mouse. That's this weird tick that I do. And then there's D-Day. Again, he has a spring-loaded launcher, but he's got that awesome freaking grease gun. And yeah, here's my D-Day right there. Again, right, he's got the little comic panel and then the Joe Kubert art for the other characters. I really like D-Day. He's a freaking awesome figure. Let me put him up full screen so you guys can see some of the, right? There's really good sculpting on this figure. Like his face, his hair. D-Day is a freaking awesome figure. Look at that. Look at that Thompson, kids. He's got the freaking Thompson with the stick magazine, not the drum. You know, yeah, pretty standard. The drum magazine is more associated with like Chicago mobsters, whereas the stick magazine was more associated with World War II. But there you go. Yeah. D-Day is a freaking awesome figure. I love him. The removable helmets are just another, you know, cool thing. And again, snap-on, stay-on accessories, real American hero. Right? I love the old school M1 Garand with Savage. Yeah, the weapons that they pack with these figures, yeah, they're 100% Saving Private Ryan, right? Just cool shit. And again, all these images come courtesy of yojo.com, right? You can see their kind of watermark on them. So some are lighter, some are darker. It just is what it is. But most of these figures, except for the one I just dropped, but that's why I have a lapel mic, so I can move away and pick it up. Yep. And again, here's D-Day. So this is, oh, I'm sorry. We already showed D-Day. That was D-Day version 1. This is Dynamite version 1. Another awesome figure. Yeah. He comes with a lot of cool accessories. Look at that Browning 30 caliber, kids. Freaking awesome gun, man. Belt fed, right? Open bolt weapons. You can't go wrong with them. He's got a can of ammo. Obviously, he's got a knife. Again, the removable helmet, but he's got the bandana on. Really good sculpting in the face. He's got that killer mustache. Can't go wrong with a mustache, right? Just ask old Recondo. And we will go back. Again, I didn't pull out all of my figures. I just have a bunch of them. So Browncoat says, seeing all this has got me wishing Bobby could put these characters in his 1944 line. Well, here's the thing, kids. Hasbro loves to let trademarks lapse. So you would be surprised. Yeah. How many of these they don't still have? I love my job. You ever shoot a machine gun on a peyote? It's like a mustache with titties. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's one of the members' clips. So this was Dynamite version 1. We'll get into Dynamite version 2 and the importance of that figure. This is Sergeant Savage version 5, 4. Shit. I want to say this is, well, whatever. It's another version of Sergeant Savage. It's version 4, as you were. Version 4. This is the Cryo Freeze Sergeant Savage. Got that backpack right there. Now, this backpack was carried over from Battle Corps Rangers. And that's the interesting thing. You'll see a lot of stuff carried over from Battle Corps Rangers, which was going to be Real American Heroes sort of return to form. In 1995, they were going to take it back to like 82, 83, more grounded military stuff. And it didn't happen. But the items that came with Sergeant Savage, they were designed for figures that were 3 3/4 inches. They didn't upscale them at all. And when we get into the Iron Panther tank, you're going to kind of see how they flubbed it. They flubbed it a little bit. But yeah, this is Cryo Freeze Sergeant Savage. Again, he's got the Browning 30. He pretty much has the exact same accessories as Dynamite version 1, just, you know, different color plastic. That's okay. It happens. Oh, Steel Dog, you had the freaking mail away version 6? Now I hate you. How about that? That's how it goes. What is the blue bubble thing? I've seen him a few times and I thought, what the frick is that? That's his cryo freeze chamber. It says it right there. Yeah. He's actually in this cryo freeze chamber. See it right there? Yeah. You can see the chamber in the blister right here. So he's inside of it. I don't know. Think Demolition Man, just not naked and curled up in a fetal position. So yeah, that's what that is. All right. Now, this is D-Day version 2. So again, remember, it's only 7 characters out of 17 figures minus the fucking 12-inch. That's its own thing. Jungle Camo D-Day. Okay, cool. Right. So he's call that woodland camouflage, but whatever. It's all the same. Vickman, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Hola, Chad. Hola, Vickman. Sergeant Savage, I really like this line. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Robert says, that's what kept me away from this line when it was out, but felt like every figure was Sergeant Savage. Yeah. You know, World Made of Cardboard, we're gonna get into this comment when we actually like get into the vehicle itself. So, hey kid, get me a Marlboro. What's a Marlboro? No, we're not gonna get into the Demolition Man quotes. Not gonna do it. So what you're saying is they froze him with fragmentation grenades and a belt of ammunition. No, they didn't. But, you know, whatever. Cooter says when IDW was doing their shared universe, Sergeant Savage was in there. Yep, 100%. He absolutely was. I mean, you got to maintain trademarks, right? I'm not saying they lost all of these, but you would be surprised at what they did lose. However, look at that freaking IV. It's freaking awesome. It says camo paint, but it's like an IV bag camo paint. Yeah. It's a good figure. Yeah. With working cliff climber right here. He's got the little hook, the launcher, all that shit. He's out in the Joe room somewhere. If you've seen my Joe room, right, it's just a wreck. Now, Dynamite version 2. Urban Attack Dynamite. Jeffy says, this is like Alpine. Oh, as you were. Alpine, only less complicated. Look, the camo pattern on that figure is freaking awesome. This is one of the figures with a pack-in. He has a mini vehicle, also known as the motorcycle. This motorcycle and everything that comes with Urban Attack Dynamite, aka version 2 Dynamite, this shit is important. And we're going to come back around to it. Jesse, if you're here, don't fucking spoil it. Any of you who know, don't spoil it, please. Now we get into the enemy team. So this is version 1 General Blitz in the black with the ox blood and gold piping. There's some really good stuff on this figure. The scar on his eye. I wish I could have found him. I know he's in a box somewhere out in the Joe room, but he's got that. Is it that the Mauser pistol? Luger? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, this is a really good looking figure. That's version 1 of General Blitz, leader of the Iron Army. Again, we already talked about what the acronym stands for. Say, that's a nice bike. Isn't that Knight Rider with the motorcycle? No, we're gonna get into it. Stop it. Quit it. Cut it out. No. And then there's the Iron Stormtrooper. This figure's got soft goods. He's a freaking awesome figure. I could not find mine. Again, I'm sure he's in a box somewhere. But it is a freaking rad figure. Yeah. Retailed for $5. And he has a cyborg launcher. Because again, right, Iron is robotics, International Robotics Operation Network, right? So, yeah, cyborg shit. It's got a fucking stick grenade. Got to have stick grenades. Yeah, but it's a really good figure. It's an MG42. The Buzzsaw. But it's a good figure. The articulation, it's pretty standard, but the sculpting across his face, all of the mechanical shit that he's got is really cool. And again, soft goods. You can't go wrong with soft goods, right? Dusty was the first Joe with soft goods, and Savage carried it on. Now, this figure, the Arctic Stormtrooper, that I did find my Arctic Stormtrooper right here. I got mine for $15 last year. It's, it's a good price. One thing that we're going to come back around to on the Arctic Stormtrooper, because they're the Army builders, right? The Iron Stormtrooper, the Arctic Stormtrooper. They pretty much have the exact same head, just different colors and things like that. He doesn't have soft goods, which I think is weird for an Arctic figure. He probably need a coat more so, but whatever. They had to lean into the whole Stormtrooper thing. This backpack right here. Now, we're not going to talk too much about the catapult that actually fires, right? Because a lot of later Joe figures in a real American hero had catapults, right? General Flag, which was General Flag III. He had a catapult. But this right here, the backpack whistle, that's going to come back into play later on when we talk about reuse of things. Jason, what's up, man? Good to see you. Gumbo Ghosts, thank you for being here. This is the MG42. FG40, MG. The MG42. I fired the MG42 and the MG43. Yeah, because I have the German weapons qualification, or the Schützensmeer. Fired both of those. Anyway, we're going to move on from the Arctic Stormtrooper. Pretty cool figure. But again, it's just almost the exact, it is. It's the exact same figure as this, but whereas this is black, red, silver, down to this shit on his boot, the Arctic Stormtrooper has it in black. And he's got that little bit of doo-doo brown tan on his torso. That's a technical term, doo-doo brown. We're gonna keep that. Then there's Jetpack General Blitz. This is version 2. This is my favorite version of General Blitz. It's called a navigational pack, aka a compass ring. And this jetpack right here, both of these items are going to come back into play again later. But this is an awesome version of General Blitz. I like him better than the black with the gold and red piping. But he has the same weapons that all the other Iron Army figures have. The stick grenade, blah, 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 right? The MG42. I want to say this is the STG-44, right? Yeah, I think that's the Sturmgeier, whatever. I can't pronounce it. STG-44 and MG-42. So, does Blitz come with a helmet? Because otherwise that's not safe. No, it doesn't come with a helmet. He wears that familiar looking hat of a certain organization that me and several people in this awesome based chat have been accused of being by certain fucking freak jobs. No, he just wears the hat, man. But you know, he has the cool epaulets on his shoulder, and of course they all got to wear their medals and shit, because why not? But again, remember, this is a companion line to a real American hero, so a lot of the stuff that you would see on, say, a Crimson Guard carry over to your General Blitz, right? Wearing of the medals and all that stuff, the epaulets on the shoulders. That's what these are called. They're called epaulets. But yeah. Yeah. Just again, bear in mind the navigational pack, aka compass ring, and this jetpack backpack. And the funny thing is, again, these items right here, this and that, were not designed for 4.5-inch figures. So it gets a little weird. This is the freaking version 6 Sergeant Savage, the mail away. That freaking Kubert art on this is just out of control, fucking awesome. But this is limited edition desert camouflage Sergeant Savage. It was Joe Con, as you were, not Joe Con. This is the original Collectors Club. In the video that I'm working on, again, I talked about it earlier, but what I'm working on for the Death of a Real American Hero really dives into the original G.I. Joe Collectors Club, the parachute team, what they did on the deck of the USS Intrepid, things like that, and how that all plays into the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. But this figure, again, he was only offered as a mail away. He came with the card back. There he is. I know some people said they had him. Yeah, Joe Kubert was freaking awesome, man. His art was so good. For Sergeant Rock, Sergeant Savage, all the other stuff that he worked on. Yeah. So, yep, there he is, right there. And that's the only image I have of this version of Sergeant Savage, but it's pretty rad. Here's the 12-inch figure. And again, this figure was supposed to be somebody else for 1995. And when Real American Hero got killed in August of 1944, as you were, August of 1994, along with Sergeant Savage, they took this figure that was going to be a new 12-inch Joe in all OD green, because again, they were trying to take it back to the 82-83 roots, and they just repurposed him as 12-inch Sergeant Savage. He is part of the Hall of Fame. However, he doesn't have the Hall of Fame marking like, you know, Cobra Commander, Stalker, Duke, and I'm pointing back here like you guys can see it, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, etc., etc. So he doesn't have the Hall of Fame marking on the box, but he is part of the Hall of Fame. And I need to pick him up. And the gun actually works. So, yeah. Did he do the art for the Nom comic? I don't know. One of you can ask Sergeant Major Google right now, and he'll tell you. So, yeah. Yep. It wasn't exactly Hasbro. Well, I guess it was, right? Because it was Alan Hassenfeld, the guy who never wanted to be in charge. Yeah. Ken the Band says, yes, he did do art for the Nom. Yes, it was Alan Hassenfeld, but it was Alan Hassenfeld at the behest, pushiness of Ginger Kent. And she's one of those executives that they scooped up with the Kenner, Tonka, Kellogg, all that shit. So, yeah, he did the covers for Nom, the Nom. He did the covers. Vickman says he looks like Michael Shannon. And then somebody else says he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he looks a lot like Doc Savage with that hairline. If you know Doc Savage, right? Doc Savage had that shaved head with the widow's peak that we kind of talked about already. At least it doesn't look like Michael Cera. Oh God, fuck that kid. All those dorks. But yeah, awesome figure. Total Combat Sergeant Savage. Total Combat Sergeant Savage. Keep that title, that name, keep that in the back of your mind as well. Because in a couple of minutes, once we start tying all this together, you're going to see how everything that would have been was recycled into Sergeant Savage. Yeah. And that gives you an idea of how fast Real American Hero and Sergeant Savage, because again, it's part of Real American Hero, how fast they were killed and how easily they could pivot certain things and put it into Savage because they just needed to get it done. Like, oh, well, we got to put this shit out because it's already made. Action Joe Figs has this 12-inch figure. Again, Now I Hate You, We're Enemies. Congratulations. Plastic Mercenary says, I love the Nom series, was written and edited by 2 veterans. Yep. Absolutely it was. Mother Slug, I know that Total Combat figure. He's a reused figure from another toy line trying to find it online. He's reused in multiple ways, but Total Combat, that actual term for a character, you're going to see where that actually came from. And it did come from G.I. Joe. Okay. Figures, mainline figures are done. Now, this is one of the standalone vehicles. Again, pardon me. This is the only standalone vehicle in the line. It did not come with a figure. It was a lower price point, right? G.I. Joe was very good about doing that kind of stuff. Awesome freaking vehicle. You can put your 3 3/4 inch figures in it. Ask me how I know. And it's pretty rad. It's got the spring-loaded launchers on it, etc., etc. It is also very prominent in my intro. I'm going to just make myself big. That's what she said. Bear 11 Charlie, my favorite mortar man. Have a good rest of your show. Off to have dinner with the family that's in town. We'll catch the rest on the replay squad. Thank you, my friend. I love you very much. And enjoy dinner with your family. Replay squad is always appreciated. So, yeah, I'm trying to get everything in the frame together, but this is my Grizzly SS1 from Sergeant Savage. I see, at least I can show mine because then I can show you like the back of the box and things like that. The flags, the little, okay, everything in the 90s was paper stickers. It sucks, but that's just the way of the world. But these paper flag stickers that kind of wrap around those mounts are really cool. You know, there's your flag points right there. 3 flag points for the vehicle. And again, just awesome Joe Kubert art freaking everywhere. But most of the art on the corners of the box are exactly the same. It's just the same artwork from the front. And then again, you have your exploded kind of view of the back of it, right? The bumper holds 3 figures. It does also have working shocks. So it's pretty fun. It's kind of like the Ostriker. TJC channel member, what's up, dude? Thank you for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate you, my friend. Just popping in as I work early tomorrow. Have a good stream. Thank you, my friend. I hope you're doing great. And I hope your kiddo's good too. Terry, thank you again for that super chat. Man of Action says, I have this too. It's a good Jeep. It is. It freaking is. Nowhere Man Child from the Council of Jeff says, oh no, the large scale figure fit with the Grizzly? Yeah, because they're smaller. They're not larger. Yeah, they'll fit. They sit in the seats. Yeah. I love that text logo. I love everything about freaking Sergeant Savage. But again, the line got a bad rap for 2 reasons, and 2 reasons only. One, it was wrongly perceived as being a reset or a reinvention of a Real American Hero, which it wasn't, right? Totally a companion line. And 2, they went from 3 3/4 inches to 4.5 inches. That's it. If they would have kept it 3 3/4 and really pushed the fact that it's just another sub team, it's a companion line, I think that it would have fared a lot better. However, nothing was going to fight against what Alan Hassenfeld and Ginger Kent did in August of 1994 to A Real American Hero. And the Grizzly SS1 Jeep also came in doo-doo brown. So here's my brown one. This is like a version 2 of it. I picked this up. It's incomplete. I mean, you can see that the antenna are a little bent, or these are really flag mounts, and I don't want to stress them too much. And I'm also missing the side gun that goes on this mount right here. But it does hold 3 figures on the rear bumper, and like I said, right, it does have like shock absorbers, the same thing you would see in like the Ostriker and other Joe vehicles throughout the years. But yeah, the seats are molded in. You just throw a 3 3/4 inch figure in there right there. The windshield does drop down, and then it locks back. One thing I will tell you about this windshield is it's softer plastic, right? You see how it bends like that? So sadly, my brand new Grizzly SS1 that I opened, and I filmed putting it together. However, I never finished the video, which I probably should. When I took that out of the box after the move, it had warped like really low, and I'm trying to fix it. But this is my brown one. This is the version 2. And in fact, it even says version 2 right there. So yeah, this is the version 2 of the Grizzly SS1. The launchers work. They, just the normal spring-loaded shit. But I picked this one up at a steal because, again, it's missing the side gun and a couple of stickers, but still cool. It still works just fine. Mm-hmm. Toys, more toys. Yeah. Real Cold G says, that's awesome. Wish I had still been into Joe's when the Savage line came out. Dude, if you're into Joe now, if you're into like more Lord scale stuff and not that 1/12, you can pick these toys up. I mean, again, like I have a perfectly carded, Arctic Stormtrooper. I got this $15. None of these figures were more than $20. I mean, like right there. Version 1 Dynamite, $20. All of these on card. And then you get them loose even cheaper. So if you want carded and loose, like it's 18 figures total. And that's to include the 2 that came with vehicles. It's not an expensive line. It's really, really not. Man of Action says, I got rid of the missile launcher, used it for a Jeep. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Real Cold G. Chad, do you think they will make these in classified scale at some point? That almost feels like a trick question. I think you need to wait and see what's going on with G.I. Joe classified at Hasbro in about a year before we can answer this question. And then there's also do they still have the trademarks for all of these? It was the name Dynamite picked up by another toy company at some point in time. You don't know. Yeah, Michael, hot water for the windshield, hot water, heat gun. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to fix that. So Plastic Mercenaries says that Jeep has better suspension than my 95 Wrangler. Buy new shocks. It's all good. Hey, speaking of Yo Toys, Jacob Real, what is up, my dude? Good friend, awesome guy, channel member, and he works at the best frickin' toy store. Real, no shit, brick and mortar mom and pop in Albuquerque. Popping in to see my beautiful bearded brother. Yeah, you fucking love it. And all the chat holes across the world, hope you're all doing well and are having a great day. I'll be listening on the ride home. Love you. Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, Jacob and Jerry from Yo Toys get a lot of love from me, and it's all applicable to the Sergeant Savage line because I bought most of this stuff from them. And then I'll get into a little bit more. But yeah, they got a big selection of Savage, and I was like, oh, I'm coming to buy it all, and I freaking bought it all. Real Cold G says, I'm going on the hunt now, Chad. Thanks a lot. You're welcome. That's what we do. We empower each other, all of us, to, spend our money on little plastic people. So yeah, 118 scale is the way to go. Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. We're still waiting for the Thunder Machine in classified. Well, you won't be waiting much longer. Plus, they have to finish out the Dreadnoks, right? Because the Dreadnought obsessed guy is gone. But yeah, all those. Yeah, you'll be seeing Thrasher. Don't worry about it. I honestly feel classified is at its end. I don't see it being around in 2 years. Look, the reality is, here's the thing. We're trying to stay mostly on topic, but the reality is, we're talking about a line, right? A companion line. I'm going to keep stressing that was killed before it got to stores, along with a line that had been running for 12 years. When Real American Hero was killed in August of 1994, it had just had its second biggest year in the history of IP with 1993. Now, granted, in 93, there wasn't a lot of toy competition. But the fact is, they don't give a shit. They never do. When they killed Pursuit of Cobra / 30th anniversary, whatever you want to call it, to pivot over to G.I. Joe Retaliation, and then say, oh yeah, we're gonna finish out Pursuit of Cobra. We're gonna finish it out. They never did. Robert's Infinite Realms just did a really awesome video on that last week. If you know your Joe, you know that since the 60s, really like 70, whatever, they have always found ways to kill G.I. Joe. Hasbro is G.I. Joe's worst enemy. They love it because they own it, but they mistreat it. They pull it out of the closet when they want some money. And then when they start getting money from other IPs that they license or own or whatever, they chuck it back in the closet and then they pull it out a few years later. It's always the same. So at one point, yes, classified will end in one way or another. It will end. And again, can't lose sight of the fact that, somebody who, when people hear his name, they, right? Vala was pushing 6-inch G.I. Joe for a while he was at Hasbro, and they always told him no. They shot it down. One, because they don't want designers to fucking tell them what to do, because, they're corporate assholes like that. And two, they had no faith in G.I. Joe as a 6-inch line. So bear that shit in mind too, right? It's all on the wheel, right? As Commander Ace Hunter says in Megaforce, it all comes around. It's all on the wheel. Oh, hi, Shockwave. Oh, hi. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Yep. Tonka has that size Jeep. Well, you know what's funny? Tonka and Kenner were purchased up in 1991 by Hasbro. Weird how that works out, isn't it? Weird. Anyway, moving on. So that's the Grizzly SS1. It does come in green. I don't want to call it OD green. And then it comes in the doo-doo brown. But remember, I have trademarked doo-doo brown. Now let's talk about this bitch. And again, these are my feelings, my opinions only, but I'm going to share them because you guys are here to hang out with me. This is one of the best aircraft ever purred out by G.I. Joe. Purred out. Ever purred. One of the best aircraft ever released by G.I. Joe. And I'm going to take this bullshit off the screen. So we will move this box. And again, those of you who know, I mean, obviously there's a stinger in that position now, in that spot on the wall. But what sat on that spot on the wall, and again, Jacob Real, this is not necessarily Yo Toys. This is just my friend Jacob. This was a Christmas present to me from Jacob. A sealed P-40 Warhawk. Sealed. He gave me this as a Christmas present. And I already had one. I had a loose one, but yeah. So there you have it. Right there. Freaking awesome box art. That is Sergeant Savage version 3. I had already taken him out of the box, but here's the back of the box right there. I'm trying to make sure it's all in frame for you guys. But yep, there's the back. 5 flag points for the Sergeant Savage P-40 Warhawk. I'm trying to keep the light glare out, but I mean, you can hear it. It's in there. This vehicle is in there. The box isn't in the best of shape, but I mean, it's sealed. It's there. This sucker, Toys R Us, kids, $25, right? The Toys R Us sticker alone is freaking awesome. But this was a Christmas present from my boy Jacob, and I love it. I've always loved it. I loved my loose one. To find this vehicle, again, paper stickers, but to find this vehicle in good condition, and this is one of the negatives about this thing. You see how this likes to turn? Because when you fold up the gear, the wheels have to rotate, and then they fold up like that. So what happens is that when this thing sits in your display, mine lives on the deck of my flag, and it sits like this. After a while, the gears start to turn in on themselves because of the weight of the vehicle on this very small pivot point right here. So that's one of the negatives. Probably the only negative of this toy is this right here, because you have the smallest point right here where all the weight of the vehicle sits, and then you'll come into your room, your display room later on, and it's sitting like that, all wonky. But, you know, you can hang it on the wall, you can suspend it from the ceiling, whatever. But yeah, that's how that works. Then you have the spring-loaded launchers. They just push down, and you take these missiles right here and you load them into the launcher. And then somehow I just pulled the launcher off the wing because I mean, that's just the one point where the launcher right here locks into the wing. And it's very tricky, but yep. So the missiles go into the launcher like that. I am not going to fire it. I'm just going to release it. And then again, you just have little dog bone mounts right there, and then you just dog bone it back onto the wing. You know, they just sit on the wing tips like that. I mean, they're pretty much just torpedoes. And then right here near the rear gear, this is how you so the propeller or the prop and this massive Gatling gun on the front. Great. Now all I can hear is Chad saying, I'm going to release it. Release the demons. But yeah, that's the lights and sounds and the propeller mechanism. But there's nothing going on in this cockpit, kids. I mean, there's literally like barely a molded seat in there. There's no nothing. See, that's it. Bare bones. But again, it's real American Hero, right? And then there is your version 3 Sergeant Savage right there. Awesome sculpt of a figure. I really like him. So, yep. Hands down, one of the best aircraft ever in a real American Hero. Again, just my personal opinion. The Ghost Striker X-16 and the Savage P-40 Warhawk are just the shit. I frickin' love them. Pot Blender, what's up, man? This is beautiful. Yeah, it's a fantastic vehicle. If you guys can find one, by all means, pick it up, especially if those paper stickers are in good condition, because they're paper, right? Toys get wet, things like that. Paper stickers are very susceptible to rub, and then they lose that coating on them. But it's a freaking awesome toy. It's a fantastic GI Joe vehicle. And I think I don't know why I have a picture of that, because I just pulled mine out. But we got one more vehicle to cover, too many play sets to talk about. I came back to this for a reason. August 94. All right. That's when G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero was killed off. We've already said ad nauseum, Sergeant Savage is part of A Real American Hero because, again, there it is, right? Now, this says Evil Iron Army, but it is 100% A Real American Hero because there it is, right there. Companion line, part of A Real American Hero. So when ARAH was killed in 1994, Sergeant Savage went with it. This, again, is General Blitz version 2, right? Jetpack General Blitz. There is a reason why this is the only figure in this line that comes with this navigational pack, as it's described, or a compass ring, and this jetpack. And that is because of it's video time, children. Oh, wait, I don't have a video for this one. I have images. This is the promo video or the product line review for Battle Corps Rangers for 1995. Now, this video was produced in late 1993. This is Duke right here. See the ring? See the jetpack? 3 3/4 inch Battle Corps Ranger Duke with the jetpack and the ring that came from Battle Corps Rangers, and they just repurposed it in 1994 because they knew that Real American Hero was not going to live to see 1995. So they took a lot of this stuff that was already made and they just started packaging it. And a lot of it got packaged with Savage. So there's your navigational pack. There's your jetpack. And again, this is the 1993 product review, promotional video, whatever they want to call it. This is the pitch from 1993. And again, this video came courtesy of Dan Klingensmith. If you guys know, right, he did all of his book series, 15 volumes on A Real American Hero. And Dan knows so much more than me or probably anybody else when it comes to A Real American Hero. But the link to this full line review video titled 1995 What Could Have Been, it's in the description below. By all means, I suggest you go watch it. And that YouTube channel is called the Toy Files Podcast. But yep, there it is. Navigational ring and that. And the way that the navigational pack ring fits on the figure is just like that. So there you have it. It's, I don't know, a compass fanny pack thing that you wear as a ring. So yeah, there it is right there. Battle Corps Rangers Duke. And they were just going to return everything to like OD green with black and things like that. Battle Corps Rangers was going to be a true return to form for Real American Hero. It sucks we didn't get it. I do have a custom of the Battle Corps Ranger Seawolf, which was the gray and black version of the Killer Whale. Pretty much a Killer Whale version too, but that never happened either. But yeah, that's the navigational pack that you see from Battle Corps Rangers line that wound up with General Blitz version 2 because they were like, oh, we could just recolor General Blitz and give him this freaking jetpack and he might as well chuck the ring in. And we got a version 2. This is why you see only 7 characters in Sergeant Savage, as you were, but 17 4.5-inch figures, because they just had to repurpose all this shit that was going to come with Battle Corps Rangers in 95 and just put it into Savage, because the Savage line was already in production. They could do that. Yeah, and then there's that pack right here. Again, we're coming back to this guy right here, the Arctic Stormtrooper. And this is going to get even crazier. So again, he has the Arctic backpack, which is a whistle. Well, here's that Duke with the jetpack and the navigational pack, aka compass ring. This figure right here, he has that backpack. Again, Arctic figure. See the launcher, the catapult right here? Has the catapult too. The wacky thing about this figure, I understand this image is very blurry, but again, it's an old product line review video, and this is just a screen capture from it, but you can clearly see he has all of the accessories that wound up getting packaged in with the Arctic Stormtrooper, because just like with General Blitz version 2, hey, we'll just recolor him red. They took the Stormtrooper, took off the soft goods, because, you know, reproducing soft goods is expensive. They just took that black soft goods jacket off, recolored the figure, gave him the ski catapult launcher doodad. They gave him everything to include the whistle backpack. The wackiest thing about this figure right here, and I'm talking about this one. And I had to call Dan Klingensmith yesterday afternoon. I was like, hey, I'm not too sure what's going on with this, because there's a little conflicting information. I was like, I need his freaking name. Originally, this figure was going to be Mega Marines Barbecue, because they were going to expand on the Mega Marines line in 1995 as well, right? You had the Manimals and things like that. So the Mega Marines were going to get Barbecue, and he was just going to be in a different colorway. Well, that didn't happen, so they pivoted this figure. Again, still pitching for 1995. They took Mega Marines Barbecue off of that roster, and this is Battle Corps Ranger Frostbite. So this was a new version of Frostbite. But all of these accessories that you see with what would have been Battle Corps Rangers Frostbite got packed in instead with Sergeant Savage Arctic Stormtrooper. And this is where everything gets a little weird with Savage, because these accessories were not made for 4.5-inch figures. One of these vehicles was not made for 4.5-inch figures. Now, yes, the P-40 Warhawk was always designed to fit a 4.5-inch version 3 Sergeant Savage. The Grizzly SS-1 was always designed to fit a 4.5-inch figure. Yes, Tonka did have the same vehicle. However, Hasbro acquired Tonka with the Kenner Tonka, purchase in 1991. But the accessories, they still work. It's just interesting that it should have been for 3 3/4 and they wound up being for 4.5-inch. But again, there it is right there. Now we got to talk about this. This thing is one of the biggest rabbit holes when we talk about Sergeant Savage. I made like a full-length produced video about the Iron Panther tank from Sergeant Savage. I didn't put the link in the description. It's just in my videos. We do have a little quick video to watch about this thing, and then we're going to kind of dig into it. A lot of Sergeant Savage's accessories, items, whatever, were supposed to be 1995 3 3/4 inch Battle Corps Ranger items. That didn't happen because, again, they knew the line was getting killed. So this vehicle was originally supposed to be the Phantom tank for Battle Corps Rangers. It was going to come with a new version of Steeler. Again, because the line wasn't solidified. Murder dog. Again, because the line wasn't solidified with the 1993 pitch reel, there's incongruities when it comes to what the name was. In the pitch reel, or the product review video, whatever you want to call it, the designation for this tank was the XS, X-Ray Sierra, or Experimental System 1, XS1 Phantom Stealth Tank. Later on, it was changed to XS3. So there's some conflicting information out there. Was it the XS1? Was it the XS3? The answer is both, none, because it didn't happen. So it just never came about. Brian, what's up, man? Says, see you at DFW next Saturday. Is that next week? No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, my dude. Don't go to DFW next week. It's the end of the month. 2 weeks. Yeah. Next Sunday, we're talking about brand loyalty, but thanks for being here. Chad, how can you be so informative? Because G.I. Joe is my life. Shaped my whole life. I don't know. It just is what it is. The picture of Arctic Stormtrooper looks more like Twiggy. Beady. Really? Okay. Yeah. Anywho, so this vehicle was never designed for this line. It was designed, again, as part of 1995 Battle Corps Rangers, which did not happen. But here it is.
From out of nowhere comes Steeler in the Phantom XS1 stealth tank with lock and load firing action. Built for speed.
Yep. See, that said in the Phantom XS1 stealth tank. And that is this gorgeous, gorgeous freaking vehicle. And again, this was brand new out of the box, right? I built it. I put all the stickers on it, and this thing is freaking 100% minty. It just has the barbell rollers, right? Like the early Hisses did. The Hiss 3, etc. And the turret on this thing is really awesome. There's a lot of cool detail underneath the turret. But again, because it's supposed to be a stealth vehicle, right? Remember, this is the early 90s. The F-117 Nighthawk, or the stealth fighter, had just kind of come out publicly, even though it had been around for a while. So all the faceted sort of stealth shit is on this. One thing to understand about this vehicle, trying to get these freaking doors open, is because this was not designed originally for Sergeant Savage in the 4.5-inch scale, you got to get your finger under this thing. If you look inside of it, it's a little hard to do with the camera. There is nothing. You see the bottom just shining? There's no seats in this vehicle whatsoever. I mean, it's literally just that. It's just all black in there. There's nothing. There's just a round hole, like a freaking recess. Because if you saw in that clip, Steeler, version 2 of Steeler, was sitting in a seat. But when they decided to take this vehicle from a 3 3/4-inch 1995 Battle Corps Ranger line that was never going to happen, and put it in the 4.5-inch 1994 Sergeant Savage line, well, they had to take the seats out. So the seats didn't come with it. And literally, now granted, I don't have the Iron Anvil figure with this. He's actually somewhere else in the Joe room. You literally just take a figure and you just freaking plop them in there. And like, that's it. There's no seat. You just kind of jam them the frick down in there. And that's how they're living in the vehicle. But this was originally designed to be the Phantom tank for Battle Corps Rangers in 1995, repurposed for Sergeant Savage 1994. Another awesome thing about this vehicle. Oh, there's the figure right there. I'm sorry. That's the Iron Anvil figure. He's a completely new design. And that's what he looks like. Does that gun look familiar? Anybody? Bueller? Now, granted, I go into serious detail about this in the video where I put this vehicle together, but this is the G2 Megatron gun. It is the exact same gun from G2 Megatron. They just took it from that. They were going to put it on the Phantom XS1 stealth tank, and it just has these. They just top load, close it, you just fire it like this, right there. Lock it, fire it. And that's it. G2 Megatron's gun. They slapped it into this turret on this stealth tank hull. Originally, it was going to be like a very dark olive drab green, as the Phantom XS1 or XS3 stealth tank, and it does come with a sledge. Sledges are used for busting the track off the road wheels, and the sledge and this, like the sledge falls out, but the frickin' E-tool, there's the entrenching tool or the shovel, and then your sledgehammer right there, and they sit in these little divots right there on the back of the vehicle. But real cool. The Iron Anvil figure, he doesn't come with a weapon. He just comes with the E-tool for, you know, digging slit trenches, and the frickin' sledge for the tracks. But yeah, it was 100% supposed to come as Battle Corps Rangers, but they just repurposed the G2 Megatron gun, which is smart, right? It's a good reuse. And then again, there's the video that I put out. I think that was like 2 years ago, but it's a fun video to make. Now, this picture's kind of crappy. Hold up. Let me get that off my screen. Let's talk about this. There's the mini comic right there. This is version 4, Sergeant Savage. As you were, version 5. Version 4 was the cryo chamber. But this is version 5, Sergeant Savage. It's a real cool sculpt of him. He kind of has the mask eyes going on a little bit on this version. I don't know why. Like, they're white, but they're very hard to tell. But comes with the mini comic. You can see the original KB Toys sticker marked down to $3.99 from $10.99. But this is the Battle Bunker. That's it. It's just called Battle Bunker. Nothing too crazy. The bunker, they don't even show what it looks like complete, but you can see the camo netting, and the posts are all down here behind the bunker. And that's it. Just got some sandbags on it. You just throw the camo net over the top of it. Real basic mini playset. You know, it's almost like the earlier Real American Hero Battlefield accessories, things like that. You know, machine gun outpost and whatever. But there it is. The back of it just shows vehicles and things like that, other characters. Worth 2 flag points, because I said there were too many playsets. Well, you got to do it again. So there's version 3 General Blitz, Cyborg General Blitz. He kind of has the torso from the Iron Stormtrooper and the Arctic Stormtrooper, just General Blitz's head, again, recolored. I don't know why he's turned in the bubble. That's just how it is. Like, I purchased him like that. He's just twisted in the blister, but that's that. This is the enemy bunker. It's just a 100% recolor of the exact same mini playset. The interesting thing about this, and this ties in several ways. Remember Total Action, Sergeant Savage, the 12-inch figure that I said, remember that name? Well, it comes into play with this Sergeant Savage battle bunker because originally this bunker was supposed to be the battle action bunker, not just battle bunker. They just took the word action off of it, repurposed it, but it was supposed to be the 1995 Battle Corps Rangers battle action bunker with Total Action Hawk. So it was going to come with a new version of General Hawk, and it looked like this.
Dig in with Total Combat Hawk and get ready to hold your ground. Repel the forces of evil from this battle action bunker with real sounds and missile launcher.
See? You want to see it again? Same bunker. It just had, different camouflage painting on the front of it. Did you guys see that sweet mustache on Hawk? A lot of this was reuse, but again, they were reusing old heads, helmets, things like that. That's like the original white Law and Order helmet. But yeah, check it out again.
Dig in with Total Combat Hawk and get ready to hold your ground. Repel the forces of evil from this battle action bunker with real sounds and missile launcher.
Yep, there you go. So the battle action bunker that was supposed to be with the 1995 Battle Corps Rangers line with Total Action Hawk wound up just getting repurposed as the battle bunker with another version of Sergeant Savage, which is just, let me find him. It's just Combat Savage, right? Which is the version 2 Sergeant Savage repainted, right? You see him side by side. There you go. It's just that figure repainted. That's all it is. A lot of reuse in this line. But what made Sergeant Savage cool was, the unfortunate death of everything that was a real American hero. So it's so small to be a play set. Really? Do you have any of the G.I. Joe Battlefield accessories? Because I have several mini play sets for Real American Hero that are like nothing, even smaller. So what did they do? Blow up? No, they didn't blow up. My mic is getting a static sound. Why are you always like the mic Nazi? Does anybody else hear static on my mic? No Flag Point says that is so much better than the new G2 Megatron from Hasbro. Oh, yeah, that thing was shit. That thing was shit. Mo says, I will only get to do a quick drive-by at DFW on Sunday on my way to visit my parents. I think I'll be there for 60 to 90 minutes. Dude, I freaking swear to Christ, if you don't come find me, like, for a second time, I'm going to be butt hurt. Like, I'm going to be irritated. So if you're going to be at DFW for like an hour, hour and a half on Sunday, like, I'm not hard to miss, man. Like, I'm real freaking tall. So you better come find my ass. Chad, why did you curse Gina Carano last night? I didn't curse Gina Carano. Yeah. The night landing was awesome. Yeah, there were tons of. Well, yeah, there are definitely echoes on that, on the product line review. All of them. That's just the audio. That's what it sounds like. So yeah. That's not coming from my side. So if you watch the whole video, which I would strongly urge all of you to go watch that whole product line review, because it's pretty freaking cool. Like, you get to see good guy Baroness, right? She was going to be a Joe. Weird, right? Energon. But yeah, Baroness was going to be part of the Battle Corps Rangers GI Joe team lineup. Man of Action says, I have this one too. I thought that the sandbag piece was on a spring. It's not. That's why I asked. No, it's not. It's not on a spring. It just kind of locks down on the top of it. If, yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah. No, it is not. And I had said at the beginning of the stream that we were going to do a giveaway. I'm actually going to give away this right here. I'm going to give this away today because I have 3 of them. I have 1 opened. I had 2 sealed. My other sealed one is actually right there on the wall. So I'm going to give this one away today. It's sealed. So yeah, let's give this away, complete with KB Toys sticker on it. But I got to finish this out, and then we'll do the giveaway. So we talked about how the Iron Panther tank was a repurpose of the XS1 Phantom Stealth tank that would have been for 95 Battle Corps Rangers. We talked about how these battle bunkers were supposed to be the battle action bunkers, just one, with Total Combat Hawk for Battle Corps Rangers, got repurposed into the Iron Enemy battle bunker and the Screaming Eagles battle bunker, again with just repaints. Well, the General Blitz is more of a kit bash, but it has other versions. So version 3 of General Blitz, version 5, Sergeant Savage, but they also came with mini comics, etc., etc. Alex, what's up, dude? Says, for me, the best part of Sergeant Savage was all the cool Joe Kubert artwork. Oh, God, I know, right? Kenzo, my man, congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. You deserve it, 100%. You absolutely do. Drew G says, I just got home. What did I miss? A lot. Because stuff. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, my dude. We got one more item to talk about reuse from Battle Corps Rangers and how it worked into Sergeant Savage. And that is this. Guys, remember me saying that Urban Attack Dynamite, aka version 2 Dynamite, was going to come into play later. It's not so much the figure, even though the camouflage pattern on the figure was 100% influenced by what I'm going to show you. But this right here, the decoder ring backpack, kind of looks like a anti-tank mine, right? But it's a decoder ring backpack. Again, they had this weird thing with what would have been Battle Corps Rangers in 95 and then got repurposed into 1994 Sergeant Savage with rings, right? It was just a thing, right? The Collectors Club had rings. I got a bunch of them. I got Sergeant Slaughter rings, etc. But this decoder ring backpack and this motorcycle right here, also the camouflage pattern on version 2 of Dynamite, come from Battle Corps Rangers Sure Shot. And yes, the audio is going to echo, but again, that's just the whole pitch reel. But here, check this out.
Sure Shot really gets around on his motorcycle, and he comes with a communications backpack that's a secret decoder ring for you.
You see it? That Sure Shot was 100% a repaint of Repeater. But look at how the camouflage pattern of Sure Shot on this motorcycle with this decoder ring really influenced version 2 of Dynamite. Here it is again.
Sure Shot really gets around on his motorcycle, and he comes with a communications backpack that's a secret decoder ring for you.
Same damn bike and everything. They just threw a 4.5-inch figure on it. But that's why this figure, I mean, look at his feet, right? This motorcycle, this little mini vehicle, was not designed for a 4.5-inch figure. They just repurposed it. They just gave it to him. But yeah, that's what he looks like on the bike. He's got to kick his legs way, way back. But there's the bike. There's the decoder ring backpack, which is, you know, really just like a butt pack or whatever. But yep, that's it right there. There's the bike. There's the bike. Murder dog. I don't know why, but it's just murder dog time. Yeah, that's it. G.I. Joe Extreme. Last thing we're going to get into as far as my little slideshow goes, and then we'll do a giveaway. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the fucking giveaway right now. We'll do the giveaway right now. Let me remove this from the screen. Let me pop this bitch out. Can I pop it out? Yeah, I can. Okay, I popped it out. Let me share this. Okay, hold up. We're going to share a new screen. Share a new screen. Stop screen. Share screen. Here we go. Dude, I don't fucking need that bullshit. Okay, we're going to share this screen right here. So, right here, hashtag bunker. If you want to be in the running to receive this battle bunker with Sergeant Savage version 5, courtesy of KB Toys, just put hashtag bunker. We're going to let that ride for a couple minutes while we talk about Sergeant Savage's relationship with G.I. Joe Extreme. So just keep putting hashtag bunker. You don't have to put it more than once. Just put it in once, anybody who's in the chat, right? But we're going to move off of this. It's just going to keep on keeping on. So hashtag bunker. Then we're going to go back to Sergeant Savage and G.I. Joe Extreme while we let that go. So how does Sergeant Savage tie into G.I. Joe Extreme? And this is something that I didn't realize it for years because I never even thought of it. To some people who watch my live streams all the time, it's not going to be much of a shock because I've shown the actual figure numerous times. But it took me years to snap. I guess I just never really cared, but that's Sergeant Savage in G.I. Joe Extreme. Fucking horrible. Two different versions of him. I understand the image is shit, and I'm sorry, but it's not my image. This just looks like a generic Kenner, because this was Kenner, right? This was the Kenner people in Cincinnati. After Alan Hassenfeld and Ginger Kent killed a real American hero, to include Sergeant Savage, because yes, it was a companion line, part of a real American hero. Ginger Kent said, we need to just reboot G.I. Joe, just make it fresh, 90s, everything in the 90s is fucking extreme, right? So they made G.I. Joe Extreme. Gave it to her people in Cincinnati at Kenner because, nepotism is real in the corporate world. So all of her Kenner peeps in Cincinnati got a hold of G.I. Joe. They made it fucking 5 points of articulation. This disgusting Terminator background character looking figure, that's Sergeant Savage. I mean, this, okay. I mean, it's still shit, but this is so much worse. Yeah, he still has that weird short hair widow's peak kind of thing going on. But Sergeant Savage, they fucking mutilated my boy. Yeah, man, it is fucking horrible. Again, hashtag bunker, throw it in the chat if you want to be in the running to win that bunker. Yeah, it looks like a fucking just generic Terminator character, but that is Sergeant Savage from the Detonator Combat Cannon with Ultra Slam Firepower. Everything in G.I. Joe Extreme had Ultra Slam Firepower, right? Now, I will say the Detonator Cannon as like a battlefield accessory, it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty cool. I have one open on display, but yeah, here you can see that fucking figure, right? Sergeant Savage with power punch action. He basically has a, you pick his arm up and he slams it down. It's got the little action feature. Just fucking garbage figure for that thing. And that's actually the last slide, but yeah, I'm gonna stop that screen. Anyway, yeah, there it is, right there. This is the one that Laser Pants gifted to me. It is still sealed, right? Fucking Kenner. There it is. And that's what the little, detonator cannon looks like. It's not bad. I mean, you can see the plunger right there. You just kind of put the missile in, pull it back, boop, and it fires it. It's just a small Nerf dart. But this thing is, it's not so much the cannon. It's more so this right here. And I wish I had the actual, oh, there's Callie. I wish see Callie. Hi, Callie. What are you doing? I wish I had the figure. Well, I know I have him. He's just somewhere in the Joe room. But so I could show you the physical figure and you could throw up in your mouth at how freaking disgusting. Actually, sir, that's the wrong hashtag. I don't believe he smells. No. Mm-mm. You should see the UK version of Sergeant Savage. I've seen Sergeant Slammer. Yeah, whatever. When action figures were actually action-packed, I'm not a big fan of the action gimmick on toys. I never was. Not with superpowers, not with the freaking real Ghostbusters and the Fright features and things like that. Because when they shit out, just have a figure that doesn't do its gimmick, and then you have less articulation because it's got a gimmick packed into the body of the figure. Yeah. The UK version has to be Mr. Bean. Yeah, a few on Masters of the Universe, but dude, the battle damage from the Hot Wheels cars, that was a game changer with frickin', yeah, total game changer with Masters of the Universe. Okay, we got 39 entries with 110 watching. Okay, it is what it is. If only 39 people want it, I don't want to say I blame you, but I like it. So it is what it is. It's fine. It's rare that I do giveaways. So let me add that to the stage. So we got 39. Again, if you want to get a hold of this Sergeant Savage Battle Bunker on a perfect card, sealed with a KB sticker, put in hashtag Battle Bunker or hashtag Bunker. I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes. And then we're going to wrap this bitch up. But yeah, Sergeant Savage, very rich history with the line. Yeah, there's a lot of Captain America, Steve Rogers, Man Out of Time, Soldier from the Past, Saving the Future. There's a lot of those themes going on. It's definitely a love letter to both Sergeant Rock and Captain America, but they're great characters, great stories, so why not? Kirk Bazigian and Joe Kubert, they really wove all that together, and it's both really cool to see the stuff that would have been in 95 Battle Corps Rangers get new life with Sergeant Savage, but it's also sad at the same time. So, anytime I look at my Arctic Stormtrooper and I look at that little ski catapult, I know that was going to come from Battle Corps Rangers Frostbite. The same thing with the navigation pack with General Blitz version 2. I know that was going to come, that and the jetpack glider were going to come from new versions of Duke. So why can YouTube suck it? Are you late? Did you just get here? Yeah, dude, YouTube's notifications are garbage now. Zombie Finger Can't Be Doxxed doesn't know Sergeant Rock. Yeah, it's a Marvel comic. Check it out. Yep. Look at the Toy Biz Beast with the spring knees and ankles. Worst idea ever. Again, I'm just not fans of the action features. Sent me a picture of what? Your what, Drew? Your hair? Did you send me a picture of your hair? You friggin' prick. No action in action figures, really, Chad? How about paying hookers just for a hug? Shut the hell up. Look, I don't like over articulation because over articulation takes away from sculpt. Always does. When you got like 3 shoulder cups and the anatomical correctness of a figure is just out the fucking window, so you can have butterfly elbows and like 3 shoulder cups. To me, that's too much. I don't like action features on the figure itself because it takes away from the articulation. It has to be a balance. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. Hendo, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you, my friend. It would be totally funny if a certain person island won the Savage figure, then Chad realizes who it is when getting the address is Canada. That guy doesn't watch anybody else's stuff. I mean, if he ever does, it's like after the fact just so he can be all pissy about it. Is Sergeant Rock DC? I thought it was Marvel. Nah, I might just be confused. It happens. It happens all the time. They, them nuked my other account. Who's they? Who nuked your other account? The world wants to know. Let us know. Who is they? They. I have Sergeant Rock 118 scale in storage. Figures are in the collector's case / tank. Dude, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Oh, yeah, that's right. YouTube tanked your freaking Hal Jordan account because of all the ladies you were showing. YouTube sucks now. It used to be fucking awesome, but it sucks now. They squeeze little streamers, and it's all the little streamers that really pay them a lot more. And yeah, it's just crappy. It's me. You know me. Yeah, I know you. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Sergeant Rock is DC. Okay. Yeah, my bad. All good. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Okay, so we got 45 entries. But yeah, Sergeant Savage. If it's something you want to get into, they're easy to find. Not so much the P40 Warhawk. I do have 2. I'm definitely not going to give away. I'm not going to give away one of my P40s. The boxed one was a Christmas present from Jacob Real. I am 100% not getting rid of that. It's going to go back on the wall behind me. And the loose one it just looks so good on the deck of my flag. So that's going to stay there. 100%. Hal Jordan's boob pictures, rest in peace. Yeah, HGC. Hey, HGC, did you get your damn box from me yet? I need to know. I know I asked you, but I'm asking you now because you're in the chat. Did you get it? Did you check the tracking? Where is it? Got any tips? I don't know. Okay. I need to know, HGC. All right, let's do this thing. Here we go. We're going to draw it live. Right. Oh, come on, Bobby. You're fucking dude. Oh, tracking says it arrives Monday. Wow. That's like a week. A week to get from Albuquerque to freaking Georgia? Weird. I thought it was only going to be like 3 days. Whatever. The Hidden says, what's PSKY? PSKY attempts to do Sergeant Savage live action. Oh, Paramount Skydance. I got you. Attempts to do a Sergeant Savage live action movie. Should he be physically dynamic, like MCU's Captain America, or something else? I don't know. Oh, apparently your package took a side trip to New Orleans. Well, maybe it'll bring you something cool. Drew G says, I've never seen the unaired pilot. Is it any good? Yeah, Old Soldiers Never Die. It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's good. I like it. But, it didn't get picked up. So they just packaged it with version 1 of Sergeant Savage and called it a day. You can easily watch it. 100%. Sergeant Rock got a toy line from Remco. That is correct. All right. I see a bunch of late people. Last chance. Hashtag bunker if you want to possibly win. If you want a 1 in currently 47 chance of winning this battle bunker. And if you're going to DFW, I'll just bring it to you in person. If not, I'll stick it in the mail. Whatever. Yep. That's the figure you have? Is it, hold on. Is it this one, Drew? This is why I like the lapel mic. I can move off camera. This one? Is that the one you have, Drew? That guy right there? This motherfucker right here. Good figure. I like it. So no, I don't need a rat tail. 100% do not. Snot lips. Hollywood would get Ellen Page. Thank you for saying Ellen and not Elliot. Hollywood would get Ellen Page to play Sergeant Savage these days. Fuck out of here. So dumb. Blockies for life. Blockies are cool. I like blockies. Yep, that's the one that Drew has. Cool. You want a good Sergeant Savage, you need to get the guy from the Jack Reacher show. Alan Richson? From the Reacher series? Alan Richson? Who was also in that awesome War Machine movie. 2025, not the old War Machine movie. Hasbro headquarters is telling everybody to say no to blockies. Nah, blockies are rad, dude. I think blockies are rad. When I hear Remco, I think American Defense. I love that line growing up. Dude, me too. I have a shit ton of the American Defense Remco stuff. Some of the figures were a little weird, like they look like bondage dudes, but the little vehicles are fun, especially that little like airboat hovercraft. I still have the box for that and everything. They cast Alan Page to play Odysseus. Isn't it like the ghost of Odysseus? I don't know. Whatever. Yes, Alan Richson, that guy. Toys of Gotham says, I'll get my wrench back, Jeff. Just you wait. And when I do, well, I can't do anything to you. No, I'll give you your wrench back, dude. I'll 100% give it back. Mo says, I like blockies, but who's going to put them together for me? Look, the Action Edition blockies, like the freaking Soundwave that I have sitting over here, they take forever to build. And I'm the guy, like, I didn't even want to build Lego stuff, man. The Lego stuff pisses me off. Yeah. Kyle Funk. I'm so pissed Chris Nolan cast Ellen Page as Achilles. It's not Achilles. Is it Achilles? Really? Well, whoever it is, she is supposed to be playing a he ghost. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Does Savage's past, 1920s through 30s, connect back to the adventure team or Joe Colton? I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. Lego is for refined gentlemen. Fuck that. Fucking Lego. Look, Lego bricks are good for one thing, like building diorama display back, like backdrops. Yeah, Savage is from World War II. 100%. Oh, that's what it is. Rumored to be the ghost of Achilles. Yeah. Look, I have no interest in that movie whatsoever. If I want to watch a cool, like, swords and sandals, like history kind of movie, I'll watch Troy. How about that? I'll just watch Troy because Troy is awesome and it's based as fuck. I don't like most of Chris Nolan's shit. Maybe I'm just one of the, like, I liked Memento. I liked Batman Begins. I like half of The Dark Knight, and that's pretty much it. I didn't like Dunkirk. I didn't care for fucking Oppenheimer. Interstellar, like a lot of the science in Interstellar is questionable at best. I just I don't think he's the savior of Hollywood that a lot of people say he is. All right, let's fucking do this. Last chance. Hashtag bunker. Right friggin' now. And that's it. It's happening. No, Interstellar was kind of J-Mac getting in there. Troy director's cut is phenomenal, and yeah, Nolan is heavily overrated. Fuck yeah, Nolan's overrated. All right, we're at 49. 49 entries. Yes, CC Murphy, the original Clash of the Titans, so good with that Ray Harryhausen stop motion. So fucking good. That Medusa is perfect.
You're not supposed to put in hashtag Chad, actually.
Yeah. What's the giveaway? Well, the giveaway is actually that. Sergeant Savage version 5 with his battle bunker, courtesy of KB Toys, sealed. You guys hear it? Can you hear it? Yeah. That's the giveaway right there. Drew, man, did you get in on it? Yeah. Hashtag bunker. I'm giving it away. Like I said, I have 3 of them. It's not a flex. It's more of a I'm giving back. KB Toys is coming back, Kenzo, supposedly. But yeah, I've got a sealed one right there on the wall. You can see it. And I've got an open one out in the Joe room. So I need to start getting rid of duplicates. And I'm going to do that more regularly. I'll just, find a duplicate that I have and do a giveaway for it. But I'm not going to announce giveaways. It's not some kind of a grift or anything like that. It's just, if I can make more room in my Joe room, because space is everyone's enemy. If I can make more space for stuff that I haven't been able to display or other stuff that I may want to purchase, even though I have most everything, it helps me out. So yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I got the Operation Recall figures. General Monteferro's right here on the wall. I got all the rest of them over here. And yeah, I was going to open some of them. I'm going to do like a members only stream. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's members only, but who wants to watch me open action figures on a public live stream? I don't think anybody. Gumbo's Ghost says, I have one. It's a great set. Yeah, it absolutely is. And again, it was supposed to be, right, the battle action bunker for 1995's Battle Corps Rangers that never happened. And so they just repurposed it for Sergeant Savage, which is totally cool. Brian wants to watch me open action. Yeah, but you're a channel member. So I'm saying, like, who wants to watch me do that on a public live stream? I don't really think anybody. So that's just my opinion. So anyway, let's hit this shit. Here we go. 54 entries. Oh, fuck. I didn't put it on the screen. Sorry. Oh, look at that shit. Son of GTO. Look at that. Son of GTO won the Sergeant Savage Battle Bunker. Drew G says it's rigged. So does Ken the Band. Everybody else is they're not salty. They're all saying congratulations. Son of GTO, you are coming to DFW, right? I believe you're coming to DFW. Look, and anybody else who's going to DFW in 2 weeks, 2 and 2, right? As Chuck Woolery would say. Not next week, 2 weeks. Anybody else who's coming to DFW, if you're coming to the swap, which anybody can go to the swap, you don't have to bring stuff. You just show up. You can buy stuff, trade things, whatever. If you're coming to the swap on Saturday night, I'm going to be raffling off a couple of my customs vehicles, right? Because I'm the vehicle and playset customizer. So I'm going to be bringing 2 or 3, and I'll have raffle tickets, and I'm going to raffle off a couple of customs. So yeah, Son of GTO will be there. Do you want me to just bring it to you at DFW, or do you want me to stick it in the mail? We can have that conversation on Instagram. So you decide how you want it, and I'll get it to you one way or the other. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Oh, I messed my beard up. Yep. 100% total recall. 2 weeks. Chad, are you planning to stream from DFW? Oh, come here, Callie. Come on, get up here. Are you planning to stream from DFW? Yeah. Come here. You want to say hi? Want to say hi to everybody? Hi, everybody. It's me, Callie. Look at me. I'm beautiful. I'm such a beautiful girl. Got high fives? Yeah, you do. Okay. I love you. She's lonely. She wants to hang out with her daddy. Yeah, you hang out with me. Yeah, I'm gonna live stream from DFW. At one point, I had considered doing just like filming a bunch of stuff, and then yes, I know, I love you. Yeah, I had considered just filming a bunch of stuff and like making a really long video, and then live premiering that video and watching it with everybody. One, I would have to edit it. And you're talking like an hour, hour and a half. Like I was going to make a video as long as a stream. So one, I'd have to edit it. Where am I going to find time to edit a video of that length while I'm at a con? Two, I'd have to try to friggin' upload it on hotel internet, which is always shit. So I was like, no, I'll just fucking stream it. It's fine. Am I going to do a Road to DFW live stream? Tomorrow, I am having a stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern where I will have a couple special guests associated with the DFW G.I. Joe show. I'm just leaving it at that. You know, when I've done that in the past, you know, I don't really say who's going to be there, but, you know, Ron Rudat shows up or somebody else shows up. So you don't know who's going to be there, but I am going to have a special guest live stream tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It won't be too long, but that was the only time frame that I could work out with these guests. Everybody's busy, especially right now. Let me get this bright ass thing off my screen. Again, congratulations to Son of GTO. I will bring your Sergeant Savage battle bunker with me to DFW. I also had something else for Son of GTO for DFW, which I don't know. If it was rigged, I didn't rig it. I don't know. Maybe Google Chrome rigged it. And again, if you're coming to DFW, I am bringing glow-in-the-dark chat hole stickers. Die cut, really awesome. They do glow in the dark. So I'm bringing some of these with me. And I will also be bringing this sticker. Yeah. So I'll have a bunch of die cut glow in the dark chat hole stickers and some That's That Bullshit stickers. That's all I'm going to have with me. A lot of it was short notice. You know, it's been a weird time lately. There's been some dumb shit going on. Sure, some people could say a lot of it was like self-inflicted because I wasn't going to take shit from people fucking lying down. But it is what it is, and everything's awesome. Now I have a lapel mic, and so I can put toys down, and you can still hear me as I'm speaking. But this whole floor around me is just covered in fucking Sergeant Savage toys and boxes and stuff. But yeah, Action Joe Figs. Definitely looking forward to seeing you again. But, you know, everybody knows me. If you see me at DFW, by all means, you know, come hang out, chat with me. I will ask you to sign my poster. I always ask everybody to sign my show posters. It's just something I do. And, you know, take some photos. What I will say, though, this is a public service announcement. Kind of going back to that bullshit. Don't fucking run up on me. Okay? Just don't come at me too assertively and everything will be cool. Because, you know, I'm gonna, Slade. I knew that was going to wrestle your jimmies, Chad. What? What was going to wrestle my jimmies? Nobody rustles my jimmies. Nowhere Manchild says, I hope to meet you at DFW. I met a guy there previously who looked like you, but he was clean shaven. That was still me. Yeah, that was still me. But yeah, just don't run up at me. Especially don't run up behind me, because you're going to get a consolation prize. And remember, in public, I wear glasses. 2 feet from a monitor, I don't wear glasses. But other than that, I wear glasses. So don't let the Clark Kent fool you. You're going to be rolling. Yeah, you're going to be literally rolling up to me. Yep, absolutely. A lot of people don't realize how large I actually am. But it's a thing. Yep. Yeah, Action Joe Fig says, I'm old, so no running up on people. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't need to really break that down anymore Barney style, do I? Just, understand that So, anywho, I think we're good. Do I have any more starred comments? Oh, I do. I think I missed this one. Jim Largo, channel member for 5 months, says, hey, I got a Chad chat. Witness me. Everybody witnessed Jim Largo. I'm sorry if I missed this earlier. It may have been one of the times where I was rat fucking a toy or looking at something else. But ladies and gentlemen, Jim Largo, all the way from Guatemala. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for being a chat hole and a channel member. And yeah, other than that, we're good. Nothing else starred that I need to read. Ken the Band says, I don't walk on all fours anymore, so I expect to go unnoticed. Oh, you're not going to go unnoticed. Come on, man. Not even a little. Drew G, so are you saying don't come up on you and almost hit you with a truck? Has anyone heard the story about how Drew G almost hit me with his truck at Joe Fest? True story. He almost hit not only me, but Jeremy Jernigan, a.k.a. Ghost Daddy, a.k.a. Jiu-Jitsu. He almost fucking creamed me and Jernigan with his truck. He just comes driving up out of nowhere and stops. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, he almost fucking ran us over. I loved it. He fucking loved it. I did. It was awesome. Yep. I have only one question. Are we diving? Tomorrow. We will dive tomorrow after the stream. We will not dive tonight because I have to take the spouse to dinner. She's been home all day. Will I be at Joe Fest this year? No, absolutely not. I will not be at Joe Fest ever again for the foreseeable future, because Ed Schumacher is a fucking gross piece of shit. Yeah. No more Joe Fest for me. 100%. Unless things change around there. So the reality is my perception and my perception only. Again, right? You take it or leave it. I don't fucking care. Joe Fest is no longer about the toys, the intellectual property as a whole. It's not about the creators or anything like that. It's about who goes there to be seen and sit at the bar and act like, you're fucking cooler than everybody else. That's what Joe Fest has turned into. And I have zero interest in that bullshit at all. That and the fact that, Ed Schumacher's a piece of shit. So there's that. Yeah. Yep. And they did. They fucked Bobby Valla over for that turd that fucking started all that bullshit. And then, a lot of other people got in on it. And plus, Diana Davis, I don't even know if she still goes to Joe Fest, but I have no interest in all these weird fucking fourth wave feminist fucking cancel culture mafia retards at Joe Fest. And half the YouTubers that go there, I can't fucking stand them. So no interest in Joe Fest. When you got people who are openly like, oh, I don't care about the creators of GI Joe. I don't care about blah 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 blah. I only go there to hang out. Fuck you. Yeah, no more Joe Fest. Period. Plus, why am I going to go all the way to Georgia from New fucking Mexico? Why am I going to go all the way to Georgia just to fucking get annoyed? No way. Mm-mm. I'm not doing anything else on the East Coast. Period. And I mean that. Fucking period. Lord of Brooklyn, Joe Fest is a must for all fans of the G.I. Joe franchise. All loyal fans not named Chad are welcome. You know what's funny? Because Hasbro told all their employees they can't go to Joe Fest. BK for life. I know the whole shtick is like Hasbro headquarters, but Hasbro, the executives, told all of their Joe team people, you are not allowed to go to Joe Fest. You're not allowed to go there in an official capacity. And since you can't go there in official capacity, we don't want you going there in a personal time off capacity either. That's why you never saw any of those motherfuckers. You never saw any of them. The only time you even saw Corey was after he was terminated. Yep. Hasbro fucking hates Joe Fest. So, yeah, it is what it is. Not saying, just saying. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with me. Just talk toys. It's all we talked tonight was toys. Sergeant Savage, awesome line, underrated, underappreciated companion line to a real American hero. And again, right, all those threads tie together. Real American hero, Sergeant Savage, the death of both of them at the hands of Alan Hassenfeld and Ginger Kent, how her nepotism led her to send G.I. Joe to her buddies over in Cincinnati at the old Kenner building. And then we got G.I. Joe Extreme, and that fucked Joe over real bad until 1997 when it came back to Hasbro with the Real American Hero Collection, RAHC, rack. Yeah, like rack and file. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Next week, we're gonna kind of go back to throw in some shade. We're gonna talk about brand loyalty next week. There's a specific video. We're gonna EFAP it, right? Every frame of pause. We're gonna watch this guy's video. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna look at some of the comments because brand loyalists are a thing. That's a big thing. We all know it, right? It doesn't matter what the fandom is. You know, Star Wars has its fucking Disney shills. G.I. Joe has its Hasbros. Every line's got them. So yeah, we're gonna watch this video. We're gonna read some of the comments. We're gonna talk about it. So yeah, next week we're talking about brand loyalty and why it's fucking dumb. So, you know, because if you like a real American hero, you can't like Leonard the Corps because it's a knockoff, right? If you like G.I. Joe Classified, you can't like another certain 6-inch military action line because it's a knockoff. Because that's that bullshit. You want to come up here and say goodbye? Get up here. Come on. Hey. Come here. Come on. We're on borrowed time. Get up here. No, she don't want to. Malin one never wants to get up here. Anyway, I love you all. I like toys too. I like stuff. I like things. I like people. And yeah. I wonder if there was another stream going on today. Probably had nothing to talk about. Ken the Band says, I'm a brand loyalist. I don't know if you are. I don't know if you are. And if you are, I'm sorry. Marco, thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed kind of a, you know, just a little interesting deep dive about Sergeant Savage by Kirk Bazigian and Joe Kubert and how it ties into a real American hero, the death of both, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. Now you know. Knowing is half the fucking battle, and I'm going to see you guys out with, you know, the SJW Brigade, because that's the new outro. But real quick, one more time for Donald Gibb. We lost Ogre, and yeah, here you go. Nerd! Nerd! Everybody have a good night.
that one more time?
Should people ever go full classified? No, they shouldn't. Like at all, period. Because, this
Community and community.
didn't play.
Community and community.
Yeah, no, don't do it. And then somebody asked, should we do something about the 25th anniversary? Yeah, we can. That's a lot of fucking figures, though. That's a lot of figures. That's not 1 year. That's several years just for the 25th. Anyway, you guys have a great night. And, yeah.
That's that bullshit!